Chapter 185. Explain. Hearing Peng Lin's words, the corners of Mo Qingyun's mouth curled up slightly. He revealed a faint smile and said, "The reason is simple. They wanted to kill us, but we killed them instead. I think everyone here has witnessed this. You can ask them about it." True Energy Realm. Hearing Mo Qingyun speak, Peng Lin and the other Pill Palace experts were stunned. They started to size up Mo Qingyun. At this moment, they suddenly realized that there was a brat at the second level of the True Energy Realm beside Qi Lian. This situation couldn't be blamed on Peng Lin and the others. After all, in their eyes, the True Energy Realm was too small. At this moment, if it wasn't for the special occasion, Mo Qingyun, a brat at the second level of the True Energy Realm, wouldn't even enter their eyes. Brat, since when is it your turn to speak?" Seeing Mo Qingyun speak, an expert at the first level of the Pill Palace beside Peng Lin said unhappily. He said coldly, "Didn't your elders teach you that you should know etiquette?" Obviously, in his opinion, Mo Qingyun didn't have the right to speak in this situation. Hearing the words of the first-level expert of the Pill Palace, the surrounding experts of the Pill Palace nodded their heads. Obviously, they felt that the words of the first-level expert made sense. In this kind of situation, a true element boundary junior interjecting was really too presumptuous. However, when these experts nodded their heads, Qi Lian's face darkened. He said unhappily, "Sir, I don't think you need to worry about whether I, the young lord, know etiquette or not, right?" Young lord. Once Qi Lian's words left his mouth, the surrounding people's expressions changed. The way they looked at Mo Qingyun changed slightly. A person at the True Energy Realm actually had a servant at the Pill Palace realm following him. This matter couldn't help but make people ponder. At this moment, Peng Lin and the others started to guess Mo Qingyun's identity in their hearts. After all, the situation in front of them was too strange and abnormal. Where did this young man come from? He actually has an expert from the Pill Palace accompanying him. Why have I never heard of him? There's also that red-haired old man. With his cultivation at the second level of the Pill Palace, he shouldn't be a nobody in Xia country. Could it be that they are from one of the hidden clans in the Xia kingdom? All kinds of astonishment and guesses appeared in the hearts of Peng Lin and the others. At this moment, not only were Peng Lin and the others guessing Mo Qingyun's identity, even Hequaman was frowning, his expression uncertain. From the looks of it, after knowing the relationship between Qi Lian and Mo Qingyun, a trace of apprehension had already arisen in his heart. It couldn't be helped. The scene before his eyes was too abnormal for him. He had no choice but to deal with it carefully. After all, a clan that could make a Pill Palace realm expert willingly become a servant must have terrifying strength. One had to know that the pride of a Pill Palace realm expert was extremely strong. If it wasn't for the fact that the other party was much stronger than him, how could he put down his pride and be willing to be a slave? In the entire Xia country, there wasn't a single clan that could make a Pill Palace realm expert become a servant. At most, he would become a consecrator of the clan. From this, one could see how difficult it was to make a Pill Palace realm expert willingly become a servant. The more Hequaman thought about it, the more apprehension he felt towards Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian. At this moment, while everyone was feeling apprehensive, Mo Qingyun squinted his eyes and looked towards the first-level Pill Palace realm expert. He said in a deep voice, "Whether my elders taught me manners or not, it doesn't seem to have anything to do with you. Also, since when is it your turn to interrupt? Since when is it your turn to interrupt?" The moment Mo Qingyun's words came out, the expressions of the surrounding people changed. Their hearts skipped a beat and the way they looked at Mo Qingyun changed once again. He was provoking a Pill Palace realm expert. A True Energy Realm expert was provoking a Pill Palace realm expert. This action was simply too crazy. However, when the crowd saw Mo Qingyun's action, they couldn't look at him as if he was an idiot. In their opinion, There were only two possibilities for a true energy realm expert to speak to a Pill Palace realm expert in such a manner. The first possibility was that he had nothing to fear. The second possibility was that this person was an idiot. However, Emo Chinyun obviously wasn't the latter. In this case, it meant that Emo Chinyun had nothing to fear. After thinking about it, the first-level Pill Palace realm expert's face twitched and a strong sense of apprehension rose in his heart. Following which, the first-level Pill Palace realm expert revealed an embarrassed smile and said apologetically, "Hee, this old man was too rash. I hope this little brother can forgive me." A Pill Palace realm expert apologizing to a true energy realm junior? After seeing this scene, the surrounding people were shocked. They felt that it was too surreal. This kind of thing was simply too illogical. At this moment, the surrounding people who were only at the true energy stage and the Yuan Dan stage instantly became excited when they saw this scene, and their hearts became excited. F***ck, this is too awesome. A true energy realm expert can actually make a Pill Palace realm expert admit defeat. This is too awesome. Big brother, are you taking in underlings? From today onwards I will follow you. You are the navigation light in my heart. What a domineering man. I like this kind of man. Let him ride me under his body. If he looks at me, I am willing to die. Too cool, too domineering, too strong. In an instant, the surrounding true energy realm and Yuan Dan realm experts were all excited. A true energy realm expert challenging a Pill Palace realm expert, and in the end, the Pill Palace realm expert admitted defeat. Was there anything more awesome than this? What was happening right now was nothing short of a miracle to them. Peng Lin and the other Pill Palace experts didn't laugh at the first-level Pill Palace realm expert admitting defeat. After all, Emo Qingyun's identity was special now. If it wasn't necessary, it was better not to provoke him. It was not worth it to provoke an unknown and terrifying existence just because of one sentence. After being stunned for a short while, Peng Lin looked at Emo Qingyun with a faint smile and said, "Little brother, this is the border pass. The inner city prohibits fighting. This is the rule of the Xia country's big families. I hope that little brother can give this old man some face and not fight here." Seeing Peng Lin's action, the surrounding people's expressions changed again. They were surprised by Peng Lin's attitude. Peng Lin was an expert at the 4th level of the Pill Palace realm. However, even someone like him had to be polite to Emo Qingyun at this moment. Compared to Emo Qingyun, Haiting was simply too weak. He was nothing more than a rich second generation relying on his family. At this moment, the surrounding Yuan Dan realm and true energy realm experts all had the same thought. Their hearts were filled with disdain for Haiting. Hearing Peng Lin's words, Emo Qingyun furrowed his brows and thought quickly in his heart. Just now, when he was facing the first-level Pill Palace expert, he had grasped the mentality of the crowd. However, at this moment, if he continued to use a strong attitude and went against the agreement of the Xia country's big families, he would be provoking them. Although he wasn't afraid of the Xia country's big families, under the current situation, it was unwise to choose from them. After all, he and Qilian couldn't prove that they could fight against 20 Pill Palace experts. Once they fought, he and Qilian could only escape with the help of the teleportation gate. This wasn't what he wanted to see. He wanted Qilian to enter the 100 countries battlefield and make use of the 100 countries battlefield to develop an army of Pill Palace. After thinking about this, Emo Qingyun revealed a faint smile and replied to Peng Lin, "Since Marquis Peng Lin has spoken, I naturally have to give him some face. If that's the case, thank you, little brother." Seeing that Emo Qingyun was giving him face, Peng Lin couldn't help but feel flattered. He quickly cupped his hands and thanked Emo Qingyun. After all, Emo Qingyun didn't give the first-level Pill Palace expert any face. Now that he was treating him with such an attitude, he gained a lot of face. This made Peng Lin secretly happy. This was the difference between them. After replying to Peng Lin, Emo Qingyun didn't say anything else. He stood up and walked towards the outer city. Before he left, he looked at Hai Kuiman and said coldly, "Hai family's old dog, I will wait for you in the outer city." Chapter 186. Old dog of the Hai family, I'll be waiting for you at the outer city. The moment Emo Qingyun's words left his mouth, everyone's expression changed. They were shocked by Emo Qingyun's actions. Emo Qingyun's actions were too arrogant and overbearing. A true energy realm cultivator dared to treat a Pill Palace realm cultivator in such a manner. In the entire Xia country, Emo Qingyun was probably the only one who could do such a thing. Shortly after, everyone revealed strange gazes as they looked at Hai Kuiman, wanting to see how he would respond. An expert at the third stage of the Pill Palace realm was provoked by a true energy realm cultivator. Presumably, he would be furious. "Brat, you've gone too far." Feeling the mocking gazes from the crowd, Hai Kuiman's expression immediately turned ugly. He gritted his teeth and said, "No matter what your background is, I will tear you into pieces today to vent the hatred in my heart." After saying those words in anger, Hai Kuiman's body moved as he flew towards the outer city of the border. Seeing Hai Kuiman's actions, everyone's expression changed. They revealed looks of anticipation as they rushed towards the outer city of the border. There was going to be a good show to watch. At this moment, such a thought unconsciously appeared in everyone's hearts as they revealed looks of anticipation. They really wanted to know who would have the last laugh in the upcoming battle between Emo Qingyun and Hai Kuiman. After a while, Emo Qingyun and Hai Kuiman confronted each other in the outer city of the border. "Brat, although your background is mysterious, it's not enough to scare this old man." Hai Kuiman's expression was ferocious as he looked at Emo Qingyun. He gritted his teeth and said, "Today, this old man will let you know that sometimes, being too arrogant isn't a good thing." Hearing Hai Kuiman's words, the corner of Emo Qingyun's mouth twitched. He replied with disdain, "Old dog of the Hai family, are you spouting so much nonsense to hide the fear in your heart? Brat, you're courting death." Hearing Emo Qingyun's words, Hai Kuiman's expression turned even uglier. He let out a furious roar and attacked Emo Qingyun. Venomous heavenly centipede palm Hai Kuiman blasted out a palm strike. Instantly, terrifying elemental energy fluctuations erupted from his body. The aura of a third-level Pill Palace expert was fully displayed. At the same time, under Hequaman's palm, a huge black centipede shadow rapidly condensed. Chi. As soon as the huge black centipede shadow appeared, it twisted its huge body and pounced towards Emo Qingyun. Its entire body emitted a strong poisonous fog. Under this poisonous fog, the color of the entire sky changed. It was as if dark clouds covered the sky, causing people's hearts to palpitate. So powerful! At this moment, everyone's hearts trembled, and they looked at Hequaman with awe in their eyes. "Humph!" Seeing Hai Kuiman attack, Qi Lian's expression turned cold. He snorted coldly and attacked. Blood mist. When Qi Lian moved, a terrifying bloody mist spread out from his body. It was like a bloody cloud. Under the cover of this blood fog, the surrounding light suddenly turned blood-red, giving people an extremely evil feeling. Chi. When the bloody mist around Qi Lian collided with the poisonous fog around the huge black centipede, sparks flew in all directions. Blood-devouring demonic palm. At the same time, Qi Lian also blasted out a palm strike towards the huge black centipede. Instantly, elemental energy erupted from his palm, forming a huge blood-red palm shadow. Bang! Once the blood-red palm was formed, it brought with it a power that could split heaven and earth as it blasted onto the huge black centipede. When the huge black centipede was hit by the blood-red palm, it immediately twisted its body and madly struggled. Bang bang bang! As the huge black centipede struggled madly, it instantly collided with the blood-red palm again and again. From the collision, waves of violent elemental energy fluctuations surged. Under this wave of elemental energy fluctuations, the earth shook and the sky changed color. Those with a weaker cultivation base could barely stand under the impact of this wave of elemental energy. After this discovery, everyone's expression changed and their hearts were filled with shock. Where did this red-haired old man come from? Such terrifying strength. Hikwamin actually couldn't do anything to him. The power of his blood is so powerful. In terms of power comprehension, he is much stronger than Hikwamin. Not only that, but if you observe carefully, he seems to have the upper hand. Now, it seems like the Fair family is in trouble. After provoking such a ferocious person, they will have a headache in the future. At this moment, the expressions of Peng Lin and the others changed constantly as they sighed in their hearts. They really didn't expect that Qi Lian, who was relatively weaker, would actually have the upper hand in this exchange. Break for me. At this moment, while everyone was still in shock, Qi Lian let out a cold voice, and the aura on his body suddenly surged. As Qi Lian's aura skyrocketed, the power of the blood-red palm also grew stronger. Then, the blood-red palm clenched and grabbed the huge black centipede in its hand. Bang! The blood-red palm clenched and crushed the huge black centipede. It turned into elemental energy and dissipated between heaven and earth. Hikwamin's attack was forcefully broken. Seeing this scene, everyone's expression changed. Their hearts were filled with excitement, and their hearts were in their throats. Compared to the shock of the Yuan Dan and true energy practitioners, the shock in the hearts of Peng Lin and the rest was undoubtedly even more intense. 5 layers of power. This was because they could feel that the power emitted from Qi Lian's body had actually reached the terrifying 5th level. With just a cultivation base of the 5th level of the Pill Palace realm, he was able to comprehend the 5th level power. What kind of terrifying comprehension ability was that? At this moment, Qi Lian and Hikwamin became even more mysterious in the eyes of the crowd. What a terrifying power! Under such power, I can't resist at all. With just a cultivation base of the 2nd level of the Pill Palace realm, he was able to comprehend the 5th level power. This red-haired old man's comprehension ability is terrifying. Yeah, it seems like Hikwamin is in some trouble now. Feeling the terrifying power from Qi Lian's body, Peng Lin and the others were shocked. Their hearts were filled with fear. At this moment, they finally understood how terrifying Qi Lian's true strength was. At this moment, they finally understood why Mo Qingyun didn't put Hikwamin in his eyes. With the battle strength that Qi Lian displayed, not to mention Hikwamin, who was at the 3rd level of the Pill Palace, he could even fight against a middle-level Pill Palace expert. Marquis Peng Lin, are you confident that you can defeat this red-haired old man? After calming down the shock in his heart, the 1st-level Pill Palace expert asked Peng Lin. Hearing the former's words, Peng Lin revealed a bitter smile and shook his head. I'm not his opponent. Although this result made Peng Lin lose face, he couldn't help but admit that he wasn't Qi Lian's opponent. Hearing Peng Lin's words, the surrounding crowd sucked in a breath of cold air. Their expressions turned ugly. With Peng Lin's strength, he was already at the peak of the entire border city. However, he still said that he wasn't Qi Lian's opponent. From this, one could see how terrifying Qi Lian's strength was. 5. 5th level of power. Feeling the power from Qi Lian's body, Hikwamin's face twitched. A trace of fear rose in his heart. His power was only at the 2nd level. With such a huge difference in power, it was enough to cover the difference in cultivation level. After realizing this, Hikwamin's heart was filled with fear. His battle intent began to fade. Run. As his battle intent faded, Hikwamin immediately had this thought. He didn't want to stay here any longer. He was worried that if he continued to fight, he would die here. With this thought, Hikwamin no longer hesitated. He turned around and fled. Want to escape? Can you escape? Seeing Hikwamin's agitation, Emo Qingyun curled his lips, revealing a trace of mockery. You can't escape. Seeing Hikumen's actions, Qi Lian's face also revealed a cold smile. His body moved and chased after Hikumen. Not long after, Hikumen's path was blocked by Qi Lian. Seeing that his path was blocked, Hikumen immediately gritted his teeth. He looked at Qi Lian and said angrily, "Don't push me too far. If you push me too far, you'll have to pay the price. Old dog of the Hai family, you think too highly of yourself." Hearing Hikumen's words, Emo Qingyun revealed a trace of mockery and said disdainfully, "Humph, arrogant brat, if I want to leave, you can't stop me." Hearing Emo Qingyun's words, Hikumen's face immediately darkened. He turned around and tried to escape again. "Is that so?" Hearing Hikumen's words, Emo Qingyun curled his lips, revealing a trace of a cold smile. Light Gate Martial Soul, appear! Emo Qingyun summoned his Light Gate Martial Soul as soon as he finished speaking. Following this, a white Light Gate shadow appeared above him. It exuded an ancient aura. "Seal Gate, seal for me." After summoning his Light Gate Martial Soul, Emo Qingyun no longer hesitated and used his Martial Soul Divine ability on Hikumen. Once the Martial Soul Divine ability was used, a mini Light Gate condensed in Emo Qingyun's palm. With lightning speed, it attacked Hikumen. Shortly after, the mini Light Gate blasted into Hikumen's body, sealing the circulation of Hikumen's blood. Pooh! Hikumen instantly spat out a mouthful of blood as his blood was sealed. His face turned pale. However, what truly frightened him was that he discovered that his cultivation was rapidly weakening. Not long after, Hikumen's cultivation dropped to the second level of the Pill Palace. After discovering this, his face instantly revealed a look of fear. How could this be? Feeling his cultivation drop to the second level of the Pill Palace, Hikumen's heart started to panic. Originally, with his cultivation at the third level of the Pill Palace, he wasn't Qi Lian's opponent. Now that he was at the second level of the Pill Palace, the result was obvious. Perhaps this time he would really die here. Emo Qingyun didn't care about Hikumen's panic. After seeing the situation, he said to Qi Lian in a deep voice, "Don't hold back. Use all your strength to kill him." "Yes, young lord." Chapter 187. Thousand-Legged Poisonous Centipede, appear! Seeing Qi Lian's attack, Hai Kuimen did not dare to hesitate and immediately summoned his martial soul. Then, the shadow of a giant black centipede that was more than 20 meters long appeared in the sky above him. Seeing Hai Kuimen's martial soul, Emo Qingyun was shocked. Hai Kuimen's martial soul was a superb martial soul. However, it was a very ordinary level 11 martial soul. It was just an ordinary level 11 martial soul. Poisonous Centipede Dance. After summoning his martial soul, Hai Kuimen did not hesitate and immediately used his martial soul superpower. As soon as the superpower was used, black poisonous centipede shadow appeared around Hai Kuimen's body. The poisonous centipede shadow surged towards Qi Lian. Seven-fiend bloody demon dragon, appear! Seeing that Hai Kuimen had summoned his martial soul, Qi Lian did not hold back and summoned his martial soul. Roar! As Qi Lian summoned his martial soul, a dragon's roar reverberated in the air above him. After the dragon's roar, a huge figure with 7 heads appeared in front of everyone. It was a level 12 martial soul, the seven-fiend bloody demon dragon martial soul. Everyone's hearts trembled when they saw this scene. They looked at Qi Lian with reverence. A level 12 martial soul might not have appeared in the Xia kingdom in the past 100 years. Who exactly was this red-haired elder? After seeing Qi Lian's martial soul, everyone's curiosity was raised to the extreme. Terrifying comprehension of the intent realm and a powerful martial soul. All of these made Qi Lian look mysterious. A top-grade 12 martial spirit. Such a powerful martial spirit. Even in the Great Yen Empire, such a martial spirit is rarely seen. And that guy's martial soul is also very strange. His martial soul superpower can seal the power of other people's bloodline. Where did these two people come from? With such monstrous talent and strength, why have I never heard of him before? At this moment, Peng Lin and the others were filled with strong doubts and curiosity. However, they knew that with the strength and potential that Mo Qingyun and Hai Kuiman had displayed, they would not be able to defeat them. In the future, even if they couldn't become friends with Mo Qingyun, they definitely couldn't become enemies. At this moment, they felt that Mo Qingyun and Yi Futian were too dangerous. There was nothing he could do about it. Not only were Mo Qingyun and his companion powerful, but they also had many tricks up their sleeves. Their potential was terrifying beyond compare. Once they offended such a person, when their wings were fully developed, it would definitely be a very terrifying thing. Demon Dragon destroys the world. After summoning his martial soul, Qi Lian did not hesitate and immediately used his martial soul's divine ability. All of a sudden, a terrifying cloud of blood mist transformed into 7 terrifying blood dragon shadow projections, which flew toward Hikumen with devastating power. Roar, 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 dragon roars resounded throughout the world from the mouths of the 7 blood dragons, shaking the earth and mountains. Chi, 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 after the black poisonous centipede collided with the blood-red dragon shadow, it was instantly torn apart by the dragon claw and annihilated between heaven and earth. After defeating the venomous centipede shadow, the 7 crimson shadows did not slow down and continued to charge at Hikumen. How could this be? After seeing this scene, Hikumen's heart was instantly alarmed, and a look of horror appeared on his face. He really did not expect that his martial soul's divine ability would be so vulnerable in front of Qi Lian's martial soul's divine ability. Bang! While Hikumen was still in shock, the 7 crimson dragon shadows slammed into his body forcefully and sent him flying. Pfff. After being hit by the crimson dragon shadows, Hikumen immediately spat out a mouthful of blood, and his face turned pale. The aura on his body shrank rapidly. After seeing that Hikumen was severely injured and spat out blood under his martial soul's divine ability, Qi Lian sneered and said, "Kiki, you've run out of tricks, so let me send you on your way." Blood-devouring demonic palm. After Qi Lian finished speaking, he blasted his palm toward Hikumen, and a violent surge of elemental energy instantly erupted from his body. As soon as this surge of elemental energy appeared, it transformed into a giant blood-red palm, which blasted toward Hikumen with the force of a thunderbolt. Hikumen's face convulsed as he looked at the devastating power of the giant blood-red palm, and a chill ran down his spine. He was sure that if he was struck by this palm, he would definitely be smashed into a meat patty and die on the spot. Soul transformation. With this in mind, Hikumen did not dare to hesitate any longer, and he immediately performed a soul transformation as a final struggle. After that, everyone saw Hikumen's body transform into a giant black snake that was 20 meters long in the blink of an eye, and a dark, cold light flashed in his eyes. Chi chi chi. After completing his soul transformation, Hikumen spat out a large cloud of poisonous mist from his mouth, which transformed into a ghostly face, and it flew toward the giant blood-red palm. Bang! The sinister, poisonous mist ghostly face was sent flying into the distance by the giant blood-red palm, and it exploded and dissipated into the air. After sending the ghostly face flying, the giant blood-red palm continued to move toward Hikumen without slowing down in the slightest. After that, Hikumen was struck by the giant blood-red palm, and he was blasted into the ground. Cough, cough, cough. After Hikumen was blasted into the ground, he reverted back to his human form. He continuously coughed out mouthfuls of blood, and his face was extremely pale. At this moment, Hikumen no longer had the dignity of a pill palace expert. He was just an old man waiting for death. Seeing Hikumen's miserable state, Qi Lian did not show any pity, and he decisively clawed at him again. Gotcha! Qi Lian's claw grabbed Hikumen's head, and under the force of his claw, Hikumen's head exploded. Under Qi Lian's claw, Hequamin let out a cry of unwillingness, and his eyes widened as he fell to the ground. With this, an expert at the third level of the Pill Palace realm died. After witnessing this scene, everyone fell silent, and no one said a word for a long time. Especially those at the Yuan Dan realm and True Energy realm. After witnessing this scene, their hearts were filled with shock. An expert at the Pill Palace realm, an absolute existence in the Xia country, was actually killed by someone in such a domineering manner. After killing Hequamin, Qi Lian raised his hand and kept Hequamin's corpse into his Qianquan bag. To him, Hequamin's corpse was a miraculous elixir, and he could not waste it just like that. Seeing Qi Lian's actions, everyone sighed. After the death of an expert at the Pill Palace realm, he couldn't even keep his own corpse. Hequamin, he was actually killed by that red-haired old man. It seems like we have underestimated the red-haired old man's strength. If he had undergone a soul transformation, his strength would be even more terrifying. If this person entered the 100 countries battlefield, he would be a terrifying existence. He would definitely stir up a storm in the 100 countries battlefield. For a moment, Peng Lin and the other sighed, and each of them had their own thoughts. Let's go. Seeing that Qi Lian had killed Hequamin, Mo Qingyun did not intend to stay any longer. He signaled to Qi Lian and walked into the inner city of the border pass. As for the reactions of the people at the side, Mo Qingyun did not care. In his heart, he was thinking that since Qi Lian had killed Hequamin, he should quickly refine Hequamin's blood essence. There was no need to continue wasting time here. Seeing that Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian were about to leave, the surrounding people revealed a look of awe and respect. They consciously opened up a path for them. Right now, Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian had completely conquered them with their strength. Chapter 188. Marquis Peng Lin, what's the matter? Hearing Peng Lin's words, Mo Qingyun frowned and turned to look at him. Seeing Mo Qingyun's puzzled face, Peng Lin smiled faintly and took out a red crescent-shaped key. He handed it to Mo Qingyun and said, "Little brother, this is the secret key to the Dan Palace realm battlefield. If this Mr. wants to enter the Dan Palace realm battlefield, he only needs to refine it." Dan Palace realm battlefield secret key. Hearing Peng Lin's words, the surrounding people's expressions changed and they were shocked. Among the 3 secret battlefield keys, this was the rarest and most precious one. They didn't expect Marquis Peng Lin to take one out and give it to Mo Qingyun. What kind of honor and face was this? Seeing this scene, the surrounding Yuan Dan realm and True Energy realm cultivators immediately revealed a fanatical expression. They worshipped Mo Qingyun to the core. At the same time, they also despised Haiting to the extreme. Haiting actually used force to buy and sell for a True Energy realm battlefield secret key. This kind of action was despised and disdained. On the other hand, Mo Qingyun was given a Dan Palace realm battlefield secret key by Marquis Peng Lin. This was the obvious difference between them. For a moment, the surrounding people were in an uproar. The Dan Palace realm battlefield secret key is the rarest and most precious battlefield secret key. I didn't expect Marquis Peng Lin to give it away. This is too much. I have to rack my brains just to get a True Energy realm battlefield secret key. This difference is too big. Idiot, how can you be compared to my boss? What kind of person is my boss? He's a godlike person. Bah. Look at yourself. You want to be someone's underling? Why don't you take a piss and look at yourself in the mirror? No, I have to get a True Energy realm battlefield secret key immediately. I want to continue looking up to my boss on the battlefield. Wait for me, I'll go get one too. At this moment, the True Energy realm cultivators all went crazy and tried to get their hands on the battlefield secret key. Seeing the actions of the True Energy realm cultivators, the Yuan Dan realm cultivators all revealed looks of envy. It couldn't be helped. Their cultivation was different from Mo Qingyun's, so they couldn't enter the same battlefield. Amidst the commotion, Emo Qingyun's expression changed slightly as he looked at Marquis Penglin, somewhat surprised by his actions. After pondering for a while, Emo Qingyun revealed a faint smile. He raised his hand and received the Pill Palace Battlefield's secret key from Penglin. He thanked Penglin. Many thanks for Marquis Penglin's kind intentions. If that's the case, it would be impolite for me to refuse. Hee little brother, you're too polite. Seeing Emo Qingyun accept the secret battlefield key, Penglin smiled faintly. He waved his hand and said, "Little brother, you and this mister don't have a place to stay yet, right? Why don't I arrange it for you? Then I'll have to trouble Marquis Penglin." Hearing Penglin's suggestion, Emo Qingyun did not refuse and nodded in agreement. In his opinion, it wasn't a bad thing to have Penglin prepare a place to stay. It would save him and Qilian a lot of trouble. This way, they could also save some time for Qilian to refine Hai Kuiman's essence blood. Shortly after, Emo Qingyun and Qilian walked into the border pass inner city under Penglin's lead. When Emo Qingyun and the others entered the border pass inner city, the surrounding people dispersed. However, after this incident, Emo Qingyun and Qilian's fame spread throughout the border pass inner city. Border pass inner city. Marquis Penglin revealed a faint smile and asked Emo Qingyun, "Mr. Emo, what do you think about the treasure unearthed in the 100 Countries battlefield?" To be honest, Marquis Penglin, we know nothing about the 100 Countries battlefield. Emo Qingyun didn't hide the truth after hearing Marquis Penglin's words. He directly replied Marquis Penglin and asked, "I wonder if Marquis Penglin can give me a simple explanation about the 100 Countries battlefield?" "Of course." Penglin smiled faintly and explained the situation of the 100 Countries battlefield to Emo Qingyun. The 100 Countries battlefield is a unique space. If you want to enter, you have to refine the battlefield key. Also, after entering, everyone's cultivation level will be at True Energy Realm, Yuan Dan Realm, and Pill Palace Realm. Then, through refining the origin energy of the battlefield, your cultivation level will increase bit by bit. Everyone will be at True Energy Realm? Emo Qingyun and Qilian's expressions changed and revealed a trace of surprise. "That's right." Penglin nodded and continued, "So in the battlefield, the difference in cultivation level isn't that big. The only difference is the comprehension of the concept." Speaking of this, Penglin looked at Qilian with a complicated expression. He must be envious of Qilian's comprehension of the concept. It seems like those with a higher cultivation level have a significant advantage in the battlefield. Emo Qingyun revealed a look of understanding and nodded, but if one's cultivation level is suppressed, how do they increase their cultivation level? If you want to increase your cultivation level in the battlefield, you have to rely on the battlefield key. Penglin paused and continued, "Actually, the battlefield key is a container to store the origin energy of the battlefield. As the amount of origin energy stored in the battlefield key increases, the color of the battlefield key will change accordingly. The 9 colors are red, orange, yellow, green, cyan, blue, purple, black, and white respectively, corresponding to the 9 levels of each realm. So that's how it is." Hearing Penglin's words, Emo Qingyun revealed a look of understanding and thought to himself, "If that's the case, the battlefield key that Qilian and I have is the most ordinary battlefield key." At this moment Penglin continued, "Mr. Emo, after you enter the battlefield, it's best for you to immediately attach yourself to a force and seek their protection." "Marquis Penglin, what do you mean?" Hearing Penglin's words, Emo Qingyun's expression changed again. He looked at Penglin in confusion and asked, "After we enter the battlefield, won't the people from the various kingdoms unite and fight against the people from the other kingdoms? It's not that simple." Hearing Emo Qingyun's words, Penglin immediately revealed a bitter smile and shook his head. "In this battlefield, there are many powerful demonic beasts. These demonic beasts have strong physiques and terrifying strength. With the combat power of the Xia, There is no way we can fight against them. Speaking of the demonic beasts, Peng Lin's expression changed, and he revealed a lingering fear. To resist the invasion of these demonic beasts, we have to rely on the battle formations in the cities. However, most of these cities are occupied by the powerful kingdoms, so, at the end of his words, Peng Lin sighed and revealed a bitter and helpless expression. It seemed that the status of the people from the Xia was very low on the battlefield. Hearing this, Mo Qingyun was puzzled and asked Peng Lin again, "But if that's the case, how do we earn points?" "Battlefield points are earned by killing demonic beasts. Killing a demonic beast earns you 1 point. Every time the demonic beast's strength increases by 1 level, the points earned will double." At this point, Peng Lin's expression turned serious and he continued, "The other way is to kill others and steal their battlefield points. Therefore, the battlefield is filled with danger." Hearing Peng Lin's explanation, Mo Qingyun's expression turned serious and he asked again, "What are the uses of battlefield points?" The use of battlefield points is related to the strength ranking of each kingdom in the Great Yin dynasty. Peng Lin explained to Mo Qingyun without hesitation, "The more points you have, the higher your strength ranking will be. When the time comes, you will have more places to participate in the grand examination." Grand examination? Hearing Peng Lin's words, Mo Qingyun's expression changed slightly, and he revealed a look of surprise. Seeing Mo Qingyun's reaction, Peng Lin thought that Mo Qingyun did not understand and explained, "The grand examination is an examination for the academies in Dayan Province. Those who can enter Dayan Province will have limitless achievements in the future. Those who can leave Dayan Province will at least be Dan Palace experts in the future." Peng Lin paused and continued, "Not only that, some talented people can even enter the region through Dayan Province and obtain the nurturing of stronger forces. From then on, they will soar to the sky." Following this, Peng Lin explained to Mo Qingyun about the 100 countries battlefield. After hearing Peng Lin's explanation, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and replied, "Thank you, Marquis Peng Lin, for clearing my doubts and allowing me to understand more about the 100 countries battlefield." At this moment, under the conversation between Mo Qingyun and Peng Lin, they arrived at the mansion that Peng Lin prepared for Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian. Arriving at the mansion, Peng Lin smiled faintly and pointed at the mansion in front of them as he asked Mo Qingyun, "Are the two of you satisfied with this mansion?" "Hee, not bad." Looking at the mansion in front of them, they revealed a satisfied expression and nodded with a smile. "Thank you, Marquis Peng Lin, for the trouble." "You're welcome." Peng Lin smiled faintly at Mo Qingyun and replied, "If that's the case, I won't disturb the two of you." Following this, Peng Lin bade farewell and left with the other Dan Palace experts. Seeing everyone leave, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate and walked into the mansion with Qi Lian. Chapter 189. Marquis Peng Lin, why did you give Qi Lian a key to the Dan Palace battlefield? After leaving Mo Qingyun's residence, a person beside Peng Lin looked at Peng Lin in confusion and asked, "Currently, the Xia country's battlefield keys are scarce, especially the Dan Palace battlefield keys. Giving one away means one less." "Yes, if Qi Lian doesn't enter the Dan Palace battlefield, it would be a waste. Most importantly, giving one to Qi Lian means that we will have one less person entering the battlefield, and our combat power will be weaker." After this person spoke, the others at the side also expressed their thoughts. Hearing the words of the people beside him, Peng Lin smiled meaningfully and said, "Hee, everyone, please listen to me. Qi Lian's power has reached the 5th level. With his power, he is definitely one of the top in the battlefield. If he opens the path for us, it will be a rare opportunity for us." Hearing Peng Lin's words, the eyes of the people around him lit up. They couldn't deny Peng Lin's point of view. When he saw everyone go silent, Peng Lin continued, "Moreover, young Master Mo and Qi Lian's origins are mysterious. If we're able to obtain their good impression, then it's not a bad thing." After hearing this, Everyone revealed a convinced expression, admiring Peng Lin's foresight. With Qi Lian's power, he is definitely extremely strong in the 100 countries battlefield when fighting against people of the same cultivation level. If Qi Lian can kill his way to the world, then the people of the Xia country won't have to rely on others. That's right. If that's the case, we can hunt demonic beasts alone and accumulate point. If that's the case, after this year's 100 countries battle, the Xia country's ranking in the Great Yan dynasty will definitely rise. After thinking about this, everyone's admiration for Peng Lin immediately grew stronger. Seeing that everyone understood his thoughts, Peng Lin smiled faintly and said, "Hee, it's good that everyone understands it this way. However, in my opinion, gaining the favor of Mr. Mo's background is the key." Everyone was a clear-minded person. With Peng Lin's reminder, they instantly understood the crux of the matter. That's right, to be able to create Mo Qingyun and Li Wuyo, it was definitely not a simple existence. Even in the Great Yan dynasty, he was probably at the top of the pyramid. He was so powerful that people would pale at the mention of his name. If they could obtain their support, the strength of the Xia kingdom would definitely increase in a short period of time. This method was much faster and more direct than using the 100 countries battlefield to raise one's strength. After that, everyone chatted for a while before returning to their own residences. After Peng Lin and the others returned to the mansion, they ordered their subordinates to investigate the background of Mo Qingyun and the other man. In the blink of an eye, 3 days passed. This was because Mo Qingyun did not conceal his identity along the way. Therefore, after a few days of investigation, Peng Lin and the others had found out about Mo Qingyun's background. After learning of Mo Qingyun's background, Peng Lin and the others were extremely shocked in their hearts. They could not believe this result. Lianyun City, northern desert town, Mo family? Looking at the results of the investigation, Peng Lin's face was filled with shock. He really did not expect that Mo Qingyun and the other man's methods were from a small town. Such an outcome was far beyond his expectations. After the other families received this result, their thoughts and reactions were similar to Peng Lin's. Of course, what surprised them the most was that Mo Qingyun and the other man actually had a huge feud with the Du family, one of the 3 great clans of the Xia kingdom. After this discovery, Peng Lin and the others couldn't help but have a thought. From today onwards, should they keep a distance from the Du family so that they would not be implicated when Mo Qingyun sought revenge in the future? After all, the potential that Mo Qingyun and the other man had displayed was much more terrifying than the Du family. With Qi Lian's comprehension of the concept, once his cultivation reached the middle level of the Pill Palace, his strength would definitely be able to sweep across the entire Xia kingdom. Compared to Peng Lin, when the Du family received this result, they were undoubtedly more shocked. In the inner city of the border pass, in the residence of the Du family. What? Those 2 people are from Lianyun City's Azure Jade Mansion? The head of the Du family, Du Wangping's face was filled with shock. He could not accept this result. If this was really the case, their Du family's future situation would not be much better than the Hai family's. Thinking of this, Du Wangping's face turned gloomy. He started to think of a way to deal with this. After a while, Du Wangping's lips curled into a sinister smile as he instructed the crowd below, 3 days later, the 100 countries battlefield will open. After you enter, spread a rumor that Mo Qingyun, that brat, has obtained an expert's secret treasure and obtained countless treasures. It's very likely that he has obtained the ancient treasure. Now everyone is looking for the ancient treasure. When that time comes, great-grandfather Wangping is wise. Hearing Du Wangping's words, the eyes of everyone in the Du clan lit up. Following that, a sinister smile appeared on their faces as they said, "At that time, everyone would rather believe it than not, and madly attack to kill that brat." Hearing the flattery of the people below, the proud smile on Du Wangping's face became even more pronounced. He sneered, "Qi Lian, right? Although your comprehension of the realm is strong, after entering the 100 countries battlefield, this old man will still make you die without a burial place. Thus, a silent conspiracy was carried out by the Du family. Time passed quickly. In the blink of an eye, 3 days had passed. At this moment, outside the residence where Mo Qingyun and Peng Lin were, a guard arrived. Someone is here. It should be Marquis Peng Lin who sent him. The guard's arrival was immediately sensed by Mo Qingyun. He got up and walked out of the courtyard. Mr. Mo, Marquis Peng Lin asked me to pass you a message. The entrance to the 100 countries battlefield has opened. Seeing Mo Qingyun's arrival, the guard revealed a respectful expression and reported to Mo Qingyun. After hearing this, Mo Qingyun nodded and said to the guard, "Pass the message to Marquis Peng Lin for me. Thank him for the message. Tell him that I will be there soon." "Yes, I will take my leave." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the guard replied respectfully and left. Seeing the guard leave, Mo Qingyun's expression changed slightly. He thought to himself, "I wonder if Qi Lian has finished cultivating?" With this thought, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated. He got up and walked toward Qi Lian's small courtyard. After a while, Mo Qingyun arrived at Qi Lian's small courtyard. When Mo Qingyun walked into the small courtyard, a strong wave of aura came from Qi Lian's room. After a while, Mo Qingyun saw Qi Lian walk out of the room with a pleasantly surprised expression. Seeing Qi Lian walk out, Mo Qingyun furrowed his brows and sensed Qi Lian's cultivation. The peak of the second level of the Pill Palace. After sensing Qi Lian's cultivation, Mo Qingyun's face revealed a radiant smile. Although Qi Lian's cultivation did not directly enter the third level of the Pill Palace, this kind of improvement was not bad. The entrance to the 100 countries battlefield has opened. Let's go. After pondering for a while, Mo Qingyun signaled to Qi Lian and walked out of the residence. Chapter 190. After a while, Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian arrived at the entrance of the 100 countries battlefield. At this moment, Marquis Peng Lin and the others had arrived. "Mr. Mo, Mr. Qi, you're here." Seeing Mo Qingyun arrive, Peng Lin and the others smiled faintly and greeted Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian. Mo Qingyun smiled faintly in response to Peng Lin and the others' greetings. While Mo Qingyun and the others were chatting, the entrance to the 100 countries battlefield slowly opened. As the entrance to the battlefield opened, a pitch-black space gradually appeared before Mo Qingyun's eyes. The back of the 100 countries battlefield seemed to be a void. It was pitch black and nothing could be seen. Could this 100 countries battlefield be a floating continent? Seeing this scene, Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian's expressions changed. Their hearts trembled as if they had thought of something. Soon, Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian's thoughts were verified. Indeed, at the entrance of the 100 countries battlefield, in the pitch-black space, there was a continent slowly approaching. It felt as if a huge ship was slowly docking at a port and loading passengers onto the ship. As expected, seeing the boundless continent approaching, Mo Qingyun's heart skipped a beat. He thought to himself, this should be the 100 countries battlefield. Boom! As the continent approached, a strong collision ensued. Suddenly the ground shook. Seeing this, Peng Lin immediately said to the others, "The 100 countries battlefield is connecting. Everyone, enter immediately." After Peng Lin finished speaking, he quickly flew towards the connecting continent. As Peng Lin's figure approached the continent, he was instantly sucked in and disappeared from everyone's sight. He had entered the 100 countries battlefield. "Let's go in too." Seeing this, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate. He gestured to Qi Lian and got up to enter the 100 countries battlefield. Bird of prey break. Mo Qingyun turned into a stream of light and charged into the 100 countries battlefield. As soon as he entered the 100 countries battlefield, Missouri Qingyun felt a pulling force from the secret battlefield key that he had refined. Then, he was dragged into a strange space by this force. He had entered the 100 countries battlefield. As soon as he entered the 100 countries battlefield, Missouri Qingyun felt a strong gravitational force descend on him. Under the suppression of this gravitational force, his body staggered and almost fell to the ground. What a powerful gravity suppression! After discovering this, Emo Qingyun was shocked and his expression changed. My cultivation base has dropped to the first level of the true energy realm. At the same time, Emo Qingyun also discovered that his cultivation had dropped to the first level of the true energy realm. With regards to this, Emo Qingyun was not surprised. After all, he had already heard about it from Marquis Penglin in the border city. At this moment, just as Emo Qingyun was adapting to the battlefield environment, he suddenly discovered that a strange force had descended on his body. Under this force, Emo Qingyun was shocked to discover that his connection with the Pill Palace had been forcefully cut off. The power of the Pill Palace has been sealed. This space is so strange. After discovering that the power of the Pill Palace had been sealed, Emo Qingyun's expression changed and he unconsciously frowned. With the power of the Pill Palace restricted, he could not borrow it. In the 100 Countries battlefield, he would lose a powerful trump card. This was not a good thing for him. After discovering this, Emo Qingyun did not hesitate and immediately tested his trump cards one by one. Only then would he be able to clearly understand what kind of battle power he possessed in the 100 Countries battlefield. Fortunately, after a series of tests, he discovered that other than the power of the Pill Palace being restricted, his other trump cards were not affected. With this discovery, Emo Qingyun's heart relaxed. From the looks of it, the situation was not too bad. The power of the soul, the power of the ultimacy, they are all not restricted. Not bad. After a series of tests, Emo Qingyun revealed a faint smile. The situation was much better than he had expected. With his current strength, as long as he was not surrounded by a group of people, he could do whatever he wanted in this battlefield. After that, Emo Qingyun surveyed his surroundings and began to explore the 100 Countries battlefield. After walking for a while, Emo Qingyun discovered that the lighting in the 100 Countries battlefield was too dim. Other than that, Emo Qingyun also discovered that the 100 Countries battlefield was filled with a strong smell of blood, corrosion, and dampness. It made one feel very depressed. Looking at the corpses of demonic beasts and humans everywhere, Emo Qingyun could not help but frown. He thought to himself, it seems like the fighting in the 100 Countries battlefield is extremely intense. At that moment, just as Emo Qingyun was about to take a step forward, a huge black figure suddenly rushed out from the ground. Dark Sandworm. Looking at the huge demonic beast that was 10 meters long and resembled an earthworm, Emo Qingyun's expression changed slightly as he recognized its origin. The dark sandworm's strength was not particularly strong. It was only at the second level of the true energy realm, and was not a threat to Emo Qingyun. Gravity suppression. Seeing this, Emo Qingyun did not hesitate and immediately released the Earth Ultimacy to attack the dark sandworm. Under the gravity suppression, the dark sandworm, which was already cumbersome, immediately became even more sluggish. However, Emo Qingyun did not relent because of this. He immediately took out the red silk knife and slashed at the dark sandworm. Sun-incinerating mountain splitting knife. As Emo Qingyun swung his knife, the red silk knife suddenly emitted a dazzling light and slashed at the dark sandworm. Facing Emo Qingyun's attack, the clumsy dark sandworm was directly hit by the knife light. Poochie! The 10-meter-long knife light swept past, and the dark sandworm's skin was immediately cut open. Dark green blood flowed out and its body twitched. After a while, the dark sandworm's body stopped moving. It seemed like it had been killed by Emo Qingyun. Pup! After the dark sandworm died, a light spot flew out of its body and was sucked into Emo Qingyun's battlefield key. Then, the number 1 appeared on Emo Qingyun's battlefield key, indicating that he had obtained 1 point. The 100 Countries battlefield is full of danger. It's better to increase my cultivation first. After killing the dark sandworm, Emo Chingyun thought for a while and decided to increase his cultivation first before slowly exploring the 100 countries battlefield. Dong dong dong, however, just as Emo Chingyun was thinking, the ground suddenly shook and there was a rush of footsteps. "Friend in front, run!" Following the rush of footsteps, a panicked voice entered Emo Chingyun's ears. After this panicked cry, Emo Chingyun saw a black-clothed young man running towards him at an extremely fast speed. Behind the young man, there were hundreds of huge demonic beasts that were chasing after him at an extremely fast speed. Golden-ringed bear, hell thunderbull, long-beaked explosive flame beast, water moon Pegasus. Looking at the group of demonic beasts that were rapidly approaching, Emo Chingyun's expression changed. Without hesitation, he immediately turned and fled. When he recognized these demonic beasts, he had already sensed their strength. Each of them was close to the 7th level of the true energy realm. Although he had many trump cards, he was still unwilling to act rashly. As a newcomer, it was better to keep a low profile and be cautious. Raptor Break. As he turned and fled, Emo Chingyun immediately executed the martial technique, Raptor Break. Then, he turned into a stream of light and fled. F***CK, is this kid a rabbit? How can he run so fast? The black-clothed young man's jaw dropped as he watched Emo Chingyun flee into the distance at an extremely fast speed. He exclaimed in shock. After a short moment of shock, the young man in black smiled bitterly and said gloomily, F***CK, I've played too much this time. Without a trace in the snow. After saying this gloomily, the young man in black did not dare to hesitate and used all his strength to escape. After about 15 minutes, the young man in black finally got rid of the group of demonic beasts. However, when the young man in black got rid of the group of demonic beasts, he was surprised to find that Emo Chingyun was actually in front of him. Seeing this, the young man in black smiled warmly and walked towards Emo Chingyun. He smiled and said, "Friend, you run really fast. This is the first time I've seen someone who runs faster than me." Hearing the young man in black's words, Emo Chingyun was stunned. He sighed inwardly. This young man in black was very friendly. However, Emo Chingyun did not dislike him. After hearing this, he smiled faintly and said, "Haha, you're not slow either. True energy realm 1st level." When Emo Chingyun replied to the young man in black, the young man in black suddenly looked shocked and said in shock, You just entered the battlefield." After knowing Emo Chingyun's cultivation, the young man in black was shocked. A person who had just entered the battlefield could actually run so fast. Chapter 191. That's right. Emo Chingyun nodded his head, revealing a trace of doubt as he asked, "Don't tell me that everyone entered the 100 countries battlefield at the same time?" "Of course not." The black-clothed youth's face turned serious as he said in a deep voice, "The order of entering the battlefield is based on each kingdom's ranking in the Great Yin dynasty. Therefore, the higher the ranking of the kingdom, the earlier they entered the battlefield and the more advantage they would have in future competitions. So that's how it is." Hearing the black-clothed youth's words, Emo Chingyun nodded his head, revealing a trace of understanding. "Based on the time you entered the battlefield, if I'm not wrong, your kingdom's ranking in the Great Yin dynasty should be towards the end of the 900th rank. At this moment the black-clothed youth opened his mouth again. "It's really surprising that such an awesome person like you would appear in a kingdom ranked in the 900th rank." Awesome person? Hearing the way the black-clothed youth addressed him, Emo Chingyun revealed a bitter smile as he helplessly shook his head. Seeing Emo Chingyun's expression, the black-clothed youth said in a serious manner, "I'm not bragging, but in this 100 countries battlefield, the number of people who can outrun me can be counted with 2 hands. You've just entered the battlefield, yet you've already occupied one of the places. Of course you're awesome." Hearing the black-clothed youth's twisted logic, Emo Chingyun was once again speechless as he asked curiously, "How long have you been in the battlefield?" The black-clothed youth pondered for a moment before replying to Emo Qingyun, almost a year. Almost a year. Hearing the black-clothed youth's reply, Emo Qingyun revealed a look of surprise, somewhat surprised by the black-clothed youth's time in the battlefield. After pondering for a moment, Emo Qingyun said again, "If that's the case, isn't it too unfair to the lower-ranked kingdoms?" Hearing Emo Qingyun's words, the black-clothed youth curled his lips and said indifferently, "There's no such thing as fairness in this world. Furthermore, this is nothing. The truly shameless ones are still the 10 great kingdoms." 10 great kingdoms? Emo Qingyun frowned slightly, revealing a puzzled expression as he asked, "What do you mean? Is there something different about the 10 kingdoms?" Upon hearing Emo Qingyun's question, the black-clothed youth immediately became indignant and said, "Of course it's not the same. The 10 kingdoms have the top-level secret key. After those people refine the top-level secret key and enter the battlefield, they immediately possess the cultivation of the true energy realm LV9. They trample the other kingdoms underfoot and make the other kingdoms their slaves to earn points for them. Aren't the actions of the 10 great kingdoms a little too overbearing?" Emo Qingyun's expression changed again when he heard the young man's words. He gained a better understanding of the battlefield and said in a deep voice, "In that case, the strength of the 10 kingdoms will probably grow stronger and stronger, and the gap between them and the other kingdoms will grow larger and larger." Of course, Ling Luo was helpless when he heard Emo Qingyun's words. He said, "The 10 kingdoms can do whatever they want on the battlefield now." Emo Qingyun frowned when he heard the black-clothed youth's words. He was a little worried as he thought to himself, "I wonder what Qi Lian's situation is like after entering the battlefield. He has the God-binding ring, so he should have no problem staying alive. My name is Ling Luo, from the Sword Kingdom." At this moment, while Emo Qingyun was pondering, the black-clothed youth smiled faintly and asked Emo Qingyun, "You?" "Emo Qingyun has come to the Xia Kingdom." Emo Qingyun smiled faintly and replied to the black-clothed youth. He then asked, "How did you offend so many demonic beasts just now?" Ling Luo smiled awkwardly when he heard Emo Qingyun's words. He laughed awkwardly and said, "There was a guy from the Thunder Kingdom who wanted to snatch a girl from me. I didn't like him, so I lured a group of demonic beasts to trick him. I didn't expect such a small incident to happen." Emo Qingyun was speechless when he heard this. He really had to hand it to this guy in front of him. Ling Luo was only at the true energy realm LV3, but he dared to lure over 100 demonic beasts at the true energy realm LV7. He was too bold. If he wasn't careful, it was very likely that he would end up without a corpse. Ling Luo smiled awkwardly when he saw Emo Qingyun's expression. He said, "Actually, it's nothing. Those guys are probably worse off than me." Emo Qingyun was stunned when he heard Ling Luo's words. He looked at Ling Luo and smiled bitterly. "How many demonic beasts did you offend? A few hundred or 1,000?" Ling Luo looked confused. He then waved his hand and smiled faintly. "Too many. I don't know the exact number, but it's not a small number." After replying to Emo Qingyun, Ling Luo smiled brightly and said, "That's right. You haven't wandered around the battlefield yet, right? I'll bring you to a good place." "Sure." Emo Qingyun smiled faintly when he heard Ling Luo's words. He nodded and agreed to his suggestion. Ling Luo smiled mysteriously when he saw Emo Qingyun agree. He said, "Let me tell you, there's a pink city not far from here. The looks and postures of the girls in the city are amazing. Especially that Fun Dai girl. Wow, that look, it's amazing, amazing." "Girls?" Emo Qingyun was speechless when he heard Ling Luo's words. He sighed in his heart. "This guy is really amazing." In the following time, Ling Luo kept drooling. He told Emo Qingyun about how beautiful and good the girls in Pink City were. Emo Qingyun was speechless when he saw this clown Ling Luo's actions. But because of this, he had a good impression of him. This Ling Luo was at least a straightforward person. He wasn't pretentious, he wasn't manipulative, and he was honest with others. This was very rare. Xiao. At this moment, as Emo Qingyun and Ling Luo were moving forward, a ray of light suddenly shot towards them. Dodge! Emo Qingyun sensed the ray of light the moment it appeared. He pulled Ling Luo and quickly dodged to the side. Boom! After Emo Qingyun and Ling Luo dodged, the ray of light hit where they were just standing, creating a large crater in the ground. This is a battlefield eye demon. Run! After seeing this scene, Ling Luo's expression changed greatly. He revealed a panicked expression. At this moment, he was completely different from the person who was talking and laughing earlier. It seemed that he was really afraid of the eye demon on the battlefield. Battlefield eye demon? Emo Qingyun was puzzled and curious when he heard Ling Luo's words. He raised his head and looked forward. With a glance, a huge eyeball with wings entered Emo Qingyun's line of sight. There were many tentacles under this eyeball. They were constantly waving, making one feel disgusted and scared. This is? Emo Qingyun was shocked when he saw this battlefield eye demon. Then, he was overjoyed. He said in surprise, "Eye demon! I didn't expect to see something like this here. This place must be closely related to that place." After this discovery, Emo Qingyun immediately had a definite answer in his heart. He had seen the same thing in that place. However, those demons were not in the shape of an eyeball. Instead, they had wings on their upper bodies. They were called body demons. Brother Mo, run. The battlefield eye demon is very scary. It can confuse people. It will be too late if we don't run now. While Emo Qingyun was overjoyed, Ling Luo urged Emo Qingyun anxiously. Looking at Ling Luo's current appearance, it was as if he wanted to drag Emo Qingyun away. However, while Ling Luo was panicking, he was shocked to see Emo Qingyun running towards the battlefield eye demon. F***CK. Is this guy crazy? Ling Luo was about to go crazy when he saw Emo Qingyun's actions. He cursed and gritted his teeth. Forget it, I'll go all out today. I hope you won't be too confused by the battlefield eye demon. After saying this, Ling Luo chased after Emo Qingyun. Chapter 192. Squeak Squeak Squeak. When Emo Qingyun approached the battlefield eye demon, the battlefield eye demon flapped its wings rapidly and flew into the air. After the battlefield eye demon flew into the air, its eyes flashed with a dim light and shot out a ray of light. As soon as the ray of light shot out, it attacked Emo Qingyun rapidly. In the blink of an eye, it arrived in front of Emo Qingyun. What a fast speed! Emo Qingyun's expression went grim when he saw this attack that stopped in the blink of an eye, and he was extremely shocked in his heart as he said to himself. Besides that, this attack actually contained both soul energy and origin energy. This sort of attack is really strange. Soul Sky Seal. After a short moment of surprise, Emo Qingyun didn't hesitate anymore. He immediately took out the Soul Battle Seal and blocked the ray of light. After the Soul Battle Seal blocked the ray of light, a dazzling light immediately erupted from the seal. Flames shot out in all directions. After being hit by the Soul Battle Seal, the ray of light's aura weakened significantly. However, to Emo Qingyun's surprise, the Yuanli power on the ray of light wasn't affected at all under the impact of the Soul Battle Seal. Subsequently, the remaining Yuanli power on the ray of light actually penetrated the Soul Battle Seal and continued to attack Emo Qingyun without any reduction in speed. The Soul Battle Seal only blocked the soul power in the ray of light. After realizing this, Emo Qingyun's expression suddenly changed. He quickly pondered in his mind and thought to himself, could it be that the Yuanli power in the ray of light can only be blocked by an Yuanli attack? Fire Dragon Seal. After thinking about this, Emo Qingyun didn't hesitate anymore. He immediately took out a Fire Dragon Seal to verify his thought. Shortly after, a miniature version of a fire dragon appeared in front of Emo Qingyun. It transformed into a battle seal and faced the Yuanli ray of light head-on. Bang! The Yuanli ray of light hit the fire dragon seal and instantly made a muffled sound. It was as if a steel pipe had hit an iron door. After a loud sound, the ray of light was finally blocked and dissipated. Damn, he actually neutralized I-Demon's attack. When Ling Luo saw how Emo Qingyun defeated I-Demon, his eyes widened. He couldn't believe what he had just seen. In the 100 countries battlefield, he was an existence that caused everyone's expression to change. Yet, he was unable to do anything to Emo Qingyun. To Ling Luo, such a scene was too impactful. It was too unbelievable. At this moment, while Ling Luo's face was filled with shock, the battlefield's I-Demon began to turn around and flee. This was because it felt that Emo Qingyun was not someone it could deal with. Seeing the battlefield I-Devil turn around and flee, Ling Luo was instantly thrown into disarray. He exclaimed, "Holy sh*T, that's just too awesome." He actually managed to repel the battlefield I-Devil. However, at that moment, before Ling Luo could recover from his astonishment, he saw Emo Qingyun chasing after the I-Demon. Emo Qingyun actually went to chase after the I-Devil? Am I seeing this right? This guy is chasing after the battlefield I-Demon? Seeing Emo Qingyun chasing after the battlefield I-Demon, Ling Luo rubbed his eyes hard. He thought he was seeing things. However, he soon realized that he was not seeing things. Emo Qingyun was really chasing after the battlefield I-Demon. After realizing this, Ling Luo was completely dumbfounded. He could not accept this scene. Someone actually dared to chase after the battlefield I-Demon, which caused everyone's expression to change. This was too bold. More importantly, this guy had just entered the battlefield and was only at True Energy Realm LV1. Was there anything more ridiculous than this? Could this battlefield I-Demon be a knockoff? How could it be forced to flee by someone who just entered the battlefield? After being stunned for a moment, Ling Luo said gloomily. He got up and chased after Emo Qingyun. He wanted to see if Emo Qingyun could defeat this battlefield I-Demon. Without a trace in the snow, Ling Luo's body moved. He turned into an afterimage and chased after Emo Qingyun at an extremely fast speed. When Ling Luo followed closely, Emo Qingyun had already closed the distance between him and the battlefield I-Demon. He was right below the battlefield I-Demon. Seeing Emo Qingyun approaching, the battlefield I-Demon's eyes shot out a ray of light at Emo Qingyun. Soul Sky Seal, Fire Dragon Seal. With the previous experience, Emo Qingyun had a much easier time dealing with the battlefield I-Demon's attack. His movements were as smooth as flowing water. After a while, a Soul Battle Seal and a Fire Dragon Seal appeared in front of Emo Qingyun one after another. They went towards the ray of light. Bang bang. With the cooperation of the Soul Battle Seal and the Fire Dragon Seal, the battlefield I-Demon's attack was easily neutralized by Emo Qingyun. After neutralizing the battlefield I-Demon's attack, Emo Qingyun didn't hesitate at all. He immediately counterattacked. Bird of Prey Break. Then, Emo Qingyun leaped into the air and arrived above the battlefield I-Demon. Gravity Suppression. Above the battlefield I-Demon, Emo Qingyun released the profound meaning of Earth to suppress the battlefield I-Demon. Under the pressure of gravity, the battlefield I-Demon immediately staggered. Unable to maintain its balance, it fell down. Sun Incinerating Mountain Splitting Blade. Seeing this, Emo Qingyun immediately took out the red silk blade and slashed at the battlefield I-Demon. As Emo Qingyun slashed, the red silk blade glowed and released a blade light that was more than 10 meters long like a fire dragon. Screech. Seeing the blade light coming, the battlefield I-Demon screamed in fear and flapped its wings quickly to dodge. Trying to dodge? You're too slow. Seeing the battlefield I-Demon's movement, Emo Qingyun shook his wrist and turned the slash into a sweep. The blade light hit the battlefield I-Demon directly. Slash. As the saber light flashed past, a bloody wound appeared on I-Demon's eyes. Its wings were also cut off. Patter. After losing its wings, the battlefield eye demon fell to the ground like a metal ball. After falling to the ground, the battlefield eye demon's body twitched rapidly and blood flowed out of its wounds. After a while, the battlefield eye demon's aura disappeared. It was killed by Mo Qingyun. This guy, he killed the battlefield eye demon. Seeing this, Ling Luo was so scared that his legs turned to jelly. His face twitched and his teeth chattered. Now, Mo Qingyun gave him the feeling that he was scarier than the battlefield eye demon. How could a person who could kill the battlefield eye demon not be scarier than the battlefield eye demon? Mo Qingyun just smiled faintly at Ling Luo's reaction and did not pay much attention to it. In his opinion, the most important thing now was to refine the battlefield eye demon. This was because he once saw a person who had refined countless body demons' bodies and used the bloodline power of the body demons to strengthen his body to the extreme. Mo Qingyun couldn't wait any longer as he thought about that person's terrifying physical body. He wanted to see if there would be any changes to his eyes after refining the bloodline power of the eye demon. With this thought in mind, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated. He raised his hand and grabbed eye demon's body. Then, Mo Qingyun started to refine the battlefield eye demon. He refined the blood essence of the battlefield eye demon bit by bit. As he refined the blood essence of the battlefield eye demon, Mo Qingyun clearly felt that his bloodline power seemed to be getting stronger. Especially his eyes, after being strengthened by the battlefield eye demon's bloodline, they were obviously sharper. Chapter 193. At this moment, while Mo Qingyun was concentrating on refining the battlefield eye demon, Ling Luo finally caught up. Gulp! When Ling Luo saw Mo Qingyun's actions, he was so shocked that he swallowed his saliva unconsciously. Right now, he was truly frightened by Mo Qingyun's actions. In Ling Luo's opinion, the act of refining the eye demon on the battlefield was too crazy. Is this guy crazy? Ling Luo's face was filled with terror. His expression twitched a few times, and he quickly stopped Mo Qingyun. Quick, stop. Do you want to die? Hearing Ling Luo's nervous words, Mo Qingyun was confused and asked, "Why do you say that? Haven't you heard that a dead battlefield eye demon is more terrifying than a living one?" Seeing Mo Qingyun's puzzled expression, Ling Luo was about to go crazy. He explained to Mo Qingyun, "Not long ago, the 10 kingdoms joined forces and sacrificed a few dozen people to successfully kill a battlefield eye demon. At that time, one of them wanted to refine the battlefield eye demon. In the end, the battlefield eye demon seized his body and turned him into the battlefield eye demon's puppet. So that's what you're talking about." Hearing Ling Luo's words, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly as he understood what he meant. He comforted, "Don't worry, I have a way to deal with it." Mo Qingyun had seen the situation Ling Luo described before. At that time, many people wanted to refine the body demon but were possessed by the body demon. The strength of the body demon was many times stronger than this level 1 true energy realm eye demon. Therefore, Mo Qingyun did not take this battlefield eye demon seriously. After replying to Ling Luo, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate and started refining the battlefield eye demon again. Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, Ling Luo was immediately driven mad. Mo Qingyun did not listen to him at all. Of course, at the same time, Ling Luo was also worried. He looked at Mo Qingyun hesitantly. Should I stop this guy? If I let him refine the battlefield eye demon, he might be possessed by the battlefield eye demon. What if this guy is possessed by the battlefield eye demon and doesn't recognize me anymore and attacks me? Why don't I escape while he's refining the battlefield eye demon? If I just leave like this, what if he doesn't get possessed and sees that I'm not here? Will he think that I'm a failure as a person? What should I do? What should I do? What should I do? At this moment, Ling Luo's emotions were very complicated. He was afraid, worried, and hesitant. Forget it, I have my principles. Since we know each other, I'll protect you. After some hesitation, Ling Luo finally decided to stay and protect Mo Qingyun. Just like that, time passed by slowly. Under Mo Qingyun's continuous refining, the battlefield demon's body started to shrink bit by bit. In the blink of an eye, a day had passed. At this moment, just as Mo Qingyun was about to completely refine the battlefield demon, a shocking soul wave rushed out from the battlefield demon's body. Then, Mo Qingyun felt that his soul was being attacked by a strong force. It was as if his soul was going to be destroyed. Mo Qingyun wasn't surprised by this scene. He knew that this was the battlefield's demon intending to scatter his soul and take over his body. "You're not qualified to possess my body." After realizing this, Mo Qingyun curled his lips and disdain rose in his heart. His soul cultivation had reached spirit origin realm and his soul had turned into a substance. How could it be destroyed so easily? Immediately, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate and immediately fought back against the battlefield demon. "Seal gate, seal for me." As soon as the martial soul superpower was used, a mini light gate appeared in Mo Qingyun's head and suppressed demon's soul. Under the seal of the seal gate, the strength of the battlefield demon's soul was suppressed immediately. The seal gate can actually seal the soul power. Such a discovery made Mo Qingyun's expression change. He was pleasantly surprised. This was an unexpected gain. Soul Sky Seal. While he was pleasantly surprised, Mo Qingyun did not stay idle. He immediately took out the Soul Battle Seal and suppressed demon's soul. Puff under the suppression of the Soul Sky Seal, demon's soul was turned into nothingness and floated in Mo Qingyun's head. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun did not stand on ceremony and refined demon's soul that was floating in his head. As demon's soul in his head was refined, the battlefield demon was finally refined by Mo Qingyun. At this moment, Mo Qingyun's spiritual power also experienced a small increase. "I did not expect that refining demon's soul could increase my soul power. This is a great discovery." Mo Qingyun was pleasantly surprised. He stopped cultivating and stood up excitedly. At that moment, when Mo Qingyun opened his eyes, a sharp light flashed across his eyes and he revealed a sharp aura. "Eye of demon." Seeing the dim light in Mo Qingyun's eyes, Ling Luo, who was at the side, immediately shuddered. He exclaimed, "Indeed, he was possessed. This time we are done for." The demon puppet that possesses a cultivator's body is an even more horrifying existence. He who strikes first gains the upper hand. His subordinate will suffer. After a short moment of panic, Ling Luo did not hesitate. He gritted his teeth and suppressed the fear in his heart. He attacked Mo Qingyun and said, "I will kill you to avenge my brother. Spiritual sword martial soul, appear." After Ling Luo finished his words, he summoned his martial soul. Then, the aura on his body became sharp. At the same time, a sharp sword shadow that was a few meters long appeared above Ling Luo's body. Ling Luo's martial soul was an ordinary level 12 martial soul, spiritual sword martial soul. Even in the entire Great Yen Empire, a martial soul of this level was extremely rare. Sword breaking the 9 heavens. After summoning his martial soul, Ling Luo did not hesitate and immediately used his martial soul super ability. Then, the spiritual sword martial soul released a shocking amount of soul power. It turned into a huge sword and slashed towards Mo Qingyun. This sword shadow formed from soul power was extremely fast. In a flash, it arrived in front of Mo Qingyun in the blink of an eye. Seeing Ling Luo's actions, Mo Qingyun frowned and looked at him in confusion. He asked, "Ling Luo, what are you doing?" "Fire Dragon Seal." Of course, Mo Qingyun did not remain idle as he spoke those words of doubt. He immediately took out the Fire Dragon Battle Imprint and blocked Ling Luo's powerful attack. Bang bang bang. When the Soul Power Sword Shadow hit the Fire Dragon Seal, the sound of metal clashing could be heard. Sparks flew in all directions and a shocking aura surged. Under the influence of this aura, the color of the sky immediately changed. The entire sky was illuminated with a crimson-red color. You're fine? You weren't possessed by the battlefield demon? After hearing Emo Qingyun's words, Ling Luo stopped what he was doing and looked at Emo Qingyun in shock. He could not believe that Emo Qingyun was fine after refining the battlefield demon. Why would I be fine? Why would I be possessed by the battlefield demon? After hearing Ling Luo's series of questions, Emo Qingyun did not know whether to laugh or cry. This doesn't make sense. You should have been possessed. After hearing Emo Qingyun's reply, Ling Luo was still confused. He found it unbelievable. Emo Qingyun really did refine the battlefield demon. When Emo Qingyun saw Ling Luo's expression, he immediately became gloomy. He was so angry that he kicked Ling Luo and said, "Go to hell. From what you're saying, why do I feel like you want something to happen to me?" No, I'm just too shocked. Why would I want something to happen to you? After being kicked by Emo Qingyun, Ling Luo immediately laughed awkwardly. He waved his hands and said, "Since you've refined the battlefield demon, let's continue on our way." Wait. After hearing Ling Luo's words, Emo Qingyun raised his hand and signaled for Ling Luo to stop. Earlier, he had just stopped cultivating when he was attacked by Ling Luo. He did not have time to feel the changes in his body after refining the battlefield demon. Chapter 194. After refining the demon from the battlefield, other than my eyesight becoming stronger, there seems to be an additional mysterious power in my eyes. After a round of verification, Emo Qingyun's heart trembled slightly. His face was filled with astonishment as he thought to himself, "This mysterious power is similar to the flowing light emitted by the demon from the battlefield. It's just that it's much weaker than the flowing light. If I continue to hunt the demons from the battlefield and refine their blood essence, will the power of my eyes become stronger?" At this moment, a bold idea sprouted in Emo Qingyun's heart. It made him look forward to hunting the demons from the battlefield and refining their blood essence. After understanding the changes in his eyes, Emo Qingyun checked the other parts of his body. What made Emo Qingyun slightly disappointed was that there were no changes in the other parts of his body. At this moment, just when Emo Qingyun was feeling slightly disappointed with this result, he suddenly realized that the suppression of the pill palace in his dantian seemed to have weakened a little. The suppression of the pill palace has actually weakened a little. Feeling the changes in the pill palace, Missouri Qingyun's expression changed slightly. A trace of surprise rose in his heart. Borrowing the power of the pill palace was one of his strongest trump cards. If he could use it, it would definitely be an extremely good thing. After a short moment of surprise, Emo Qingyun frowned slightly. He started to ponder in his heart. He guessed, could it be that refining the bloodline power of the demons from the battlefield can alleviate the suppression of the pill palace? The moment this thought appeared, Emo Qingyun became even more eager to kill the demons from the battlefield and refine their blood essence. He wanted to test it out immediately. Just like this, Emo Qingyun had a clearer understanding of his current situation. After doing all this, Emo Qingyun had an apologetic look on his face. He said to Ling Luo, "I'm sorry for making you wait. Let's go." It's all right." Upon hearing Emo Qingyun's words, Ling Luo immediately felt flattered and hurriedly responded. He then asked curiously, "Big brother, you're too fierce. You even refined the battlefield demon. Are you sure you don't feel any discomfort?" "What discomfort can I have?" Seeing Ling Luo's expression, Emo Qingyun helplessly shook his head and said with a faint smile, "Let's not talk about this anymore. Quickly lead the way." All right." Ling Luo immediately gave an embarrassed smile, nodded in response, and led the way. After that, Ling Luo and Emo Qingyun talked for a while, and then he returned to his previous state and talked about beautiful women with Emo Qingyun. At the mention of beauties, Ling Luo's entire being seemed to have been injected with chicken blood. He instantly became lively and energetic. Seeing Ling Luo's performance, Emo Qingyun was speechless and shook his head helplessly. Just like this, Emo Qingyun listened to Ling Luo's heroic deeds for the rest of the time. Fortunately, this time was not very long. After an hour, Emo Qingyun and Ling Luo finally arrived at Pink City. "You two, stop." Just as Emo Qingyun and Ling Luo were about to enter the city, a black-faced man at the city gate shouted coldly at them, "If you want to enter the city, each person has to pay 10 profound crystals." 10 profound crystals? Why don't you just rob? Upon hearing the black-faced man's words, Ling Luo's expression immediately changed. He said in shock, "Previously, when we entered Pink City, we didn't have to pay the entrance fee. Kid, you said it was before. Now it's different." The black-faced man curled his lips in disdain. His expression was arrogant as he looked at Ling Luo with contempt and said, "Let me tell you, Pink City is now the territory of our Thunder Kingdom. If you want to enter, each person has to pay 10 profound crystals." Thunder Kingdom? Upon hearing the black-faced man's words, Emo Qingyun's expression changed slightly. He felt a little surprised. Emo Qingyun clearly remembered that Ling Luo seemed to have said that he had lured a group of demonic beasts to a group of people. Those people seemed to be from the Thunder Kingdom. It seemed that enemies were bound to meet on a narrow road. Seeing that Ling Luo did not speak for a long time, the black-faced man became impatient. His expression darkened as he urged, "Kid, if you can't pay the profound crystals, immediately scram. Don't stand here and be a hindrance." Upon hearing the other party's words, Ling Luo immediately became anxious. He raised his hand and pointed at the other party, unable to say a word. "What's going on?" At this moment, while Ling Luo was arguing with the other party, a cold voice sounded from within Pink City. Following which, Emo Qingyun saw a square-faced man with a few followers walking out of Pink City in a group of 5 or 6 people. "Captain Lei Lai, there are 2 kids causing trouble here. They don't intend to pay the entrance fee." Upon seeing the square-faced man approaching, the black-faced man immediately revealed a respectful expression and reported to him, "Humph! How dare you defy the rules of our Thunder Kingdom?" Upon hearing the black-faced man's report, Captain Lei Lai coldly snorted. He looked at Emo Qingyun and Ling Luo and said, "I'd like to see which reckless fool dares to challenge the dignity of our Thunder Kingdom." "Kid, so it's you." Upon seeing Ling Luo beside Emo Qingyun, Lei Lai's expression instantly changed. He revealed a look of shock and, of course, anger. After looking at Ling Luo in shock, Lei Lai revealed a sinister smile. He looked at Ling Luo mockingly and said, "Kid, I let you escape last time. This time, let's see where you'll run to." Upon seeing Lei Lai's expression, Emo Qingyun immediately knew that Lei Lai was one of the people who had been tricked by Ling Luo. "Big brother, retreat quickly." Upon seeing Lei Lai, Ling Luo's expression instantly changed. He revealed a look of panic and urged Emo Qingyun, "You want to leave? It won't be that easy." Hearing Ling Luo's panicked words, the complacent smile on Lei Lai's face immediately became even wider. He ordered the people beside him, "All of you, go and capture that brat for me. Also, capture that dog shit boss of his. This time, I will take care of them together." "Yes, Captain Lei Lai." Upon hearing Lei Lai's order, the surrounding people immediately nodded in response. They then surrounded Emo Qingyun and Ling Luo. Not long after, Emo Qingyun and Lei Lai's path was blocked. Upon seeing this scene, Ling Luo's expression immediately became even more panicked. He thought to himself, "This time, it's completely over." Upon thinking of this, Ling Luo revealed an apologetic expression. He looked at Emo Qingyun and bitterly smiled, "Big brother, I'm sorry. This time, I've implicated you." Upon seeing Ling Luo's apologetic expression, Emo Qingyun waved his hand and smiled at Ling Luo. Haha, just a few small fries. Don't worry about them. At this moment, as Emo Qingyun spoke, Lei Lai and the others all looked at Emo Qingyun. True Energy Realm Level 1? When they found out about Emo Qingyun's cultivation level, they were all shocked. True Energy Realm Level 1. This was someone who had just entered the 100 countries battlefield. After realizing this, Lei Lai was first stunned. Then, a mocking expression appeared on his face as he said, "A true Energy Realm Level 1 brat who just entered the 100 countries battlefield dares to spout nonsense here. Aren't you afraid of biting your tongue? Captain Lei Lai, this is the first time I've seen a leader who's even more useless than his underlings. This is called a useless leader with a useless underling. Together, they're a useless team. I'm sure that true Energy Realm Level 1 brat must be very scared right now. Not only is he scared, he might have already lost control of his bowels. There's even a stench coming from his pants. Why do I feel that this brat looks familiar? I think I've seen him somewhere before. Now that you mention it, I also feel that he looks familiar. Where have I seen him before? On the yellow board. This brat is the one who obtained the treasure." At this moment, after hearing Lei Lai's words, the underlings behind him began to whisper to each other. After hearing the underlings' words, Lei Lai's expression suddenly changed. He stared at Emo Qingyun and sized him up. After sizing him up, Lei Lai was immediately overjoyed. He said in surprise, "Brat, so it's you. Obtained the treasure?" Hearing the words of Lei Lai and the others, Emo Qingyun frowned slightly. He had some doubts in his heart and felt very puzzled. He had only entered the 100 countries battlefield for a day, and had only met Ling Luo. How could there be rumors that he had obtained the treasure? Chapter 195. Boss, did you get the ancient treasure? Hearing Lei Lai's words, Ling Luo was also shocked and asked Emo Qingyun. Hearing Ling Luo's words, Emo Qingyun smiled faintly and asked, "Do you think it's possible?" Hearing Emo Qingyun's question, Ling Luo rolled his eyes and began to think. Impossible. After thinking for a while, Ling Luo shook his head and replied, "The ancient treasure has been unearthed for more than a year. You just entered the 100 countries battlefield, so it's impossible for you to get the ancient treasure so quickly." After hearing this, Ling Luo's eyes lit up and said in shock, "Boss, doesn't that mean you were framed? That should be the case." Hearing Ling Luo's guess, Emo Qingyun could not deny it and began to think about who was framing him. Now, he had just entered the 100 countries battlefield. Not to mention making enemies, he had only seen Ling Luo alive. Logically speaking, not many people would know who he was, not to mention that someone was trying to frame him. As such, this situation was worth pondering. It should be someone from the Xia kingdom. After thinking about it, Emo Qingyun had some ideas and began to guess. Could it be someone from the Hai family? From Emo Qingyun's point of view, he had killed so many people from the Hai family in the border city, so the Hai family definitely had the motive to frame him. At this moment, while Emo Qingyun was thinking, Lei Lai raised his head. Lei Lai raised his head and looked arrogantly at Emo Qingyun. "Kid, don't say I didn't give you a chance. Now, as long as you hand over the ancient treasure, cripple your own cultivation, and crawl under my pants, I can consider sparing your life." Hearing Lei Lai's words, Ling Luo's expression immediately tensed up and he looked nervously at Emo Qingyun. Crawl under the crotch? When Emo Qingyun heard Lei Lai's words, he curled his lips in disdain. He looked at Lei Lai and said disdainfully, "Don't say that I'm looking down on you. Even if you want to crawl between my legs, you aren't qualified. Even if you want to crawl between my legs, you don't have the qualifications." As soon as Emo Qingyun said this, the expressions of the surrounding people suddenly changed. They were shocked by Emo Qingyun's words. Emo Qingyun's words were too arrogant. He actually dared to say that he wasn't qualified to crawl under someone's crotch? This brat is so arrogant. He's even more arrogant than Lei Lai. He actually dares to talk to Lei Lai like that. The way I see it, he doesn't know the difference between life and death. Offending the Thunder Kingdom in this pink city is simply courting death. That's right. He's simply courting death. I'm sure that he'll die a horrible death later. Also, I seem to have heard that this kid obtained some ancient treasure. When they heard the conversation between Emo Qingyun and Lei Lai, the surrounding people started whispering to each other. At this moment, while the crowd was whispering to each other, a young man carrying a wine jug slowly walked into the crowd. When the young man walked into the crowd, he revealed a faint smile. He looked at Lei Lai and the others and mocked, "Yo! The people from the Thunder Kingdom are so impressive. They're bullying others again." When he heard the young man's words, Lei Lai's face twitched. His expression turned even uglier as he said coldly, "Long Yutian, this matter has nothing to do with you. You'd better not interfere." "What if I insist on interfering?" Long Yutian smiled faintly as he replied to Lei Lai. When he heard Long Yutian's words, Lei Lai's expression immediately turned ugly. He said coldly, "Long Yutian, what do you mean by this? Do you really want to go against the Thunder Kingdom?" "Nothing. I just can't stand it." Long Yutian shrugged and replied flatly. He then picked up the wine jug and took a swig. "Long Yutian, although you have a wide network, you'd better not interfere in the matters of the Thunder Kingdom." Just as Long Yutian finished speaking, an arrogant voice sounded from within Pink City. Then, the crowd saw a silver-haired young man slowly walk out of Pink City. "That's Lei Hong, the true leader of Pink City. I didn't expect him to be alarmed. It's said that Lei Hong's cultivation has reached the peak of the 5th level true energy stage. Moreover, he has a superb martial spirit. Not only that, Lei Hong once killed a 7th level true energy stage demonic beast on the battlefield alone. He's so powerful. If that's the case, won't that kid be dead for sure?" Of course. The Thunder Kingdom is ranked in the top 100 kingdoms in the Great Yen Dynasty. When they saw the silver-haired man, Lei Hong, the surrounding people were filled with reverence as they whispered among themselves. At this moment, when Long Yutian saw Lei Hong, his face tensed up as well. It seemed like he felt a lot of pressure when facing Lei Hong. Emo Qingyun had a good impression of Long Yutian's appearance. When he saw this, he smiled faintly at Long Yutian. "Friend, I appreciate your kindness. Let me settle this matter myself." "Settle it yourself?" When he heard Emo Qingyun's words, Long Yutian was stunned. He was surprised by Emo Qingyun's decision. In his opinion, with Emo Qingyun's cultivation at the 1st level of the true energy stage, not to mention Lei Hong, even Lei Hong's lackey would be able to kill Emo Qingyun in a matter of minutes. However, since Emo Qingyun had said so, Long Yutian did not say anything else. He nodded and replied, "In that case, be careful. Please take care of my brother for me." When Long Yutian stepped back, Emo Qingyun pointed at Ling Luo and asked for Long Yutian's help. "No problem." Long Yutian nodded and agreed immediately. When he saw Emo Qingyun's arrangement, Ling Luo looked proud. He patted his chest and said proudly, "Boss, I'll deal with them with you. At most, I'll die." When he saw Ling Luo's actions, Emo Qingyun was touched. He smiled faintly and said, "They're just a few small fries. Don't bother. I'm enough." When he saw Emo Qingyun's insistence, Ling Luo hesitated for a moment before following Long Yutian to the side. He looked nervous. When they saw Emo Qingyun's actions, the surrounding people's expressions changed. They were shocked by Emo Qingyun's actions. Is this guy crazy? Not only did he reject Long Yutian's help, but he also asked his follower to step aside. He probably thinks that even if Long Yutian and his follower attack together, they won't have the slightest chance of winning. Although this guy gives people the impression that he's arrogant, I have to say that he's very loyal. He's worth befriending. It's a pity that such a loyal person is going to die soon. When they saw Emo Qingyun's actions, the surrounding people sighed with pity. Perhaps in their opinion, Emo Qingyun would definitely die if he faced Lei Hong and the others. Reckless brat, you actually want to fight against us all by yourself. When he saw Emo Qingyun's actions, the disdain on Lei Hong's face became even stronger. When Lei Hong said those words, Lei Lai, who was behind him, sneered and walked to the front. He said, "Big brother Lei Hong, you go to the side and rest. Let me deal with this kid." "Okay, let's end this quickly." When he saw Lei Lai volunteering to fight, Lei Hong nodded his head in agreement. Then, Lei Hong looked at Emo Qingyun with disdain and said, "Kid, you're not qualified for me to fight. Letting Lei Lai play with you is already a favor for you." "Is that so?" When he heard Lei Hong's words, Emo Qingyun smiled meaningfully and replied to Lei Hong. He then looked at Lei Lai and said coldly, "Since you're in a hurry to die, I'll fulfill your wish. Kid, aren't you afraid of biting your tongue? I'd like to see what you're capable of." When Lei Lai finished speaking, he attacked Emo Qingyun and released his aura of a true element stage 4 martial artist without holding back. Wild Thunder Lion Dipper. When Lei Lai threw out a punch, terrifying lightning immediately appeared on his fist and turned into a huge lightning shadow with a lion's head. Roar. When the lightning shadow with a lion's head formed, it let out a loud roar and bit at Emo Qingyun with a threatening aura. This is the Earth-grade middle-tier martial skill, Wild Lightning Lion Aura. I didn't expect Captain Lei Lai to have cultivated it successfully. Captain Lei Lai has cultivated the Wild Lightning Lion Aura to the greater completion stage. He's too powerful. With Captain Lei Lai's current cultivation, he can probably fight against a true element stage 5 martial artist. This kid is dead for sure. When they saw Lei Lai attack, the people from the Thunder Kingdom smiled proudly. Gravity suppression. Seeing the lightning strike, Emo Qingyun's lips curled into a faint smile as he released the profound meaning of Earth. Under the gravity suppression of the Earth esoteric meaning, Lei Lai's body sank and he staggered, almost falling. Esoteric meaning. When Lei Lai felt the gravity suppression on his body, his face twitched and he was shocked. The kid before him had comprehended the esoteric meaning. This was unbelievable. 9 heavy crash. While Lei Lai was shocked, Emo Qingyun raised his hand and threw a punch at Lei Lai's dantian. Bang bang bang, following which, waves of shocking origin energy surged out from Emo Qingyun's fist and blasted into Lei Lai's body with an earth-shattering force. Under this earth-shattering attack, Lei Lai was directly sent flying, and the aura on his body rapidly weakened. Pooh! After Lei Lai fell to the ground, he immediately vomited blood. His face turned pale and his aura weakened. One move and Lei Lai was crippled. Seeing this scene, the surrounding people were dumbfounded. They couldn't believe what they had just seen. Lei Lai, who was at the true element stage 4, had actually been crippled by a true element stage 1st level brat in one move after using an earth-grade martial skill. This kind of thing was too abnormal for them, and it was hard for them to accept. From their point of view, the reversal of the situation seemed to be the most logical thing to do. You actually crippled my cultivation." While the crowd was shocked, Lei Lai's face was filled with hatred. He pointed at Emo Qingyun and gnashed his teeth. Chapter 196. Did I hear wrongly? That kid wants to challenge everyone in the Thunder Kingdom. He's too arrogant, but I have to admit that he's very strong. No matter what, challenging an entire kingdom by himself is too reckless. Hearing Emo Qingyun's words, the crowd was in an uproar again. Everyone started whispering to each other. Boss crippled Lei Lai in one move. That's too awesome. Seeing that Emo Qingyun had crippled Lei Lai, Ling Luo immediately became excited and clenched his fist. Looking at him, it was as if he was the one who had crippled Lei Lai. It seems that I've misjudged him this time. Seeing Emo Qingyun's performance, Long Yutian's expression changed, revealing a trace of surprise. At the same time, his slightly lazy expression turned serious at this moment as he muttered to himself, "With the strength of these two people, they do meet the requirements of those two candidates. Their characters are also extremely good. Looks like I can consider them." Long Yutian had a thoughtful expression, as if he was making a decision. While everyone was shocked by Emo Qingyun's actions, Lei Hong heard Emo Qingyun's words and his expression immediately turned ugly. Just now, he had said that Emo Qingyun did not have the qualifications to make him fight. Now, Emo Qingyun had asked them to fight together. This was undoubtedly a provocation. In other words, he was saying that he alone was not a match for Emo Qingyun. Thinking of this, Lei Hong's expression became even more gloomy. He looked at Emo Qingyun and said angrily, "Kid, don't think too highly of yourself. Don't think that you can be so arrogant just because you defeated Lei Lai. I alone am enough to deal with you." As soon as he finished speaking, Lei Hong stood up and walked forward to confront Emo Qingyun. "You?" Seeing the approaching Lei Hong, Emo Qingyun sized him up. He curled his lips and said disdainfully, "Not yet." Shameless boasting. Hearing Emo Qingyun's contemptuous words, Lei Hong coldly snorted. He gritted his teeth and said, "Brat, I'll let you know the consequences of offending my Thunder Kingdom. I'll make you regret your actions just now." Thunder Dragon chasing the sun. As soon as Lei Hong finished speaking, his body moved and charged towards Emo Qingyun at an extremely fast speed. His body emitted a terrifying aura. At the same time, a terrifying wave of Yuan power surged out from Lei Hong's body like a volcanic eruption. Once the surging origin power was unleashed, it transformed into a silver lightning dragon. With a tyrannical aura, it pounced towards Emo Qingyun with a destructive might. Roar! As the thunder dragon flew, it kept twisting its body. Its body emitted a dazzling light that made people unable to look at it directly. After seeing this scene, everyone's expression changed. They were in awe of Lei Hong's attack. This Lei Hong is indeed worthy of being able to kill a high-level true energy boundary demonic beast. This move is indeed terrifying. With Lei Hong's attack, I'm afraid even a high-level true energy boundary cultivator would not dare to face it directly. That brat is doomed. This attack is definitely not something a first-level true energy boundary cultivator can take. In an instant, the surrounding people's expressions changed. They could not help but sigh. At this moment, while everyone was sighing in their hearts, Fire Dragon Emo Qingyun looked at the Thunder Dragon that was charging towards him at an extremely fast speed. His hands moved rapidly, forming hand seals one after another. After the hand seals were formed, 49 miniature fire dragons appeared in front of Emo Qingyun. They transformed into fire dragon battle seals. When the fire dragon battle seals were formed, they gathered together to form a huge flaming shield. Suppress it! Seeing that the fire dragon battle seals were formed, Emo Qingyun did not hesitate any longer. He controlled the fire dragon battle shield to suppress the thunder dragon. Soon after, the flaming shield and the thunder dragon collided violently. It was as if two wild bulls were fighting each other, trying to defeat each other. Boom, boom, boom! In an instant, the scene was extremely intense. Every time they collided, there would be lightning and sparks flying in all directions. A violent wave of origin energy would surge out. Under the devastation of the origin energy, the ground shook and the sky changed color. It was as if doomsday had arrived. Seeing this scene, everyone's hearts trembled. They could not help but reveal a look of awe. Raptor Break. After using the Fire Dragon Battle Seal to block Lei Hong's attack, Emo Qingyun did not show any mercy. He moved his body and pounced towards Lei Hong. With a movement of his body, Emo Qingyun turned into a stream of light and rushed in front of Lei Hong in the blink of an eye. At the same time, terrifying wind blades appeared around Emo Qingyun's body. They were extremely sharp. Wind ultimacy. Feeling the aura emitted from Emo Qingyun, Lei Hong's expression changed. A sense of fear rose in his heart. Emo Qingyun's move at this moment had greatly exceeded his understanding. A LV1 true energy realm martial artist had actually comprehended ultimacy. This move was too terrifying. Sun-incinerating mountain-splitting saber Emo Qingyun did not pay attention to Lei Hong's shock. He raised his hand and took out the red silk saber, slashing it towards Lei Hong. As the saber slashed out, the red silk saber immediately glowed brightly and released a terrifying flame. As the flame bloomed from the red silk saber, it turned into a fire dragon saber ray and swallowed Lei Hong. Fire ultimacy. Seeing the fire dragon saber ray rushing towards him, Lei Hong's heart trembled again. His face twitched in fear. 2 ultimacies. This LV1 true energy realm martial artist had actually comprehended 2 ultimacies. Where did this guy come from? He's only at LV1 true energy realm, but he has already comprehended 2 ultimacies. How did he do it? At this moment, countless doubts appeared in Lei Hong's heart. He could no longer remain calm. At this moment, Lei Hong realized that he had underestimated Emo Qingyun. However, although he was shocked by Emo Qingyun's combat strength, Lei Hong did not lose his composure. After quickly regaining his composure, Lei Hong's face darkened. He took out a silver drum and slapped it. Heavenly thunder demonic wave. When Lei Hong slapped the silver drum, it immediately shone brightly. Sound waves surged out from it, and when these sound waves came out, they turned into sword shadows. Dang dang dang, following which, the lightning sword shadows collided with the fire dragon saber ray. It was as if thousands of soldiers and horses were fighting, and the sound of metal clashing could be heard. However, before long, the lightning sword shadows were destroyed and dissipated under the attack of the fire dragon saber ray. What a powerful attack! Seeing this scene, Lei Hong's expression immediately changed. He was slightly fearful of Emo Qingyun. Lei Hong's face darkened. He gritted his teeth, as if he had made a decision. Kid, your strength has surprised me. However, it's time to stop. After Lei Hong spoke coldly, he did not hesitate and immediately summoned his martial soul. Sky Thunder Leopard appear. Under Rayam's summons, a huge leopard figure covered in lightning appeared above Rayam. It was an ordinary level 11 martial soul, the Sky Thunder Leopard martial soul. Lei Hong's martial soul was a superb martial soul. Kid, prepare to die. After summoning his martial soul, Lei Hong revealed a cold smile and attacked Emo Qingyun. Tiger Leopard Thunderous Roar. Once Lei Hong attacked, he did not hold back and directly used his martial soul superpower. On top of that, with the help of the silver drum in his hand, the power of his martial spirit grew even stronger. Roar roar roar. Once Lei Hong's martial soul superpower was used, a terrifying and earth-shattering roar of a beast was heard from the silver drum. Under the impact of the sound waves, the surrounding people were forced to retreat. They quickly covered their ears. Some of the weaker cultivators spat out blood from the impact of the sound wave. What a terrifying martial soul superpower! Just the aftermath is enough to make us unable to withstand it. Also, the silver drum in Lei Hong's hand seems to be the sacred beast of the Thunder Kingdom, the Thunder Drum. It's a lower treasure weapon. No wonder it's so powerful. Under the attack of the sound waves, I'm afraid that kid is doomed. Lei Hong is so powerful. Even a LV9 true energy realm martial artist would not be able to withstand his attack. Feeling Lei Hong's attack, the surrounding people's faces changed. They were all terrified. Seeing that Emo Qingyun was directly hit by his attack and stood there motionless, Lei Hong smiled. A smug smile appeared on Lei Hong's face as he laughed heartily. Boy, so what if you have comprehended ultimacy? You will still die at my hands in the end. 2 types of ultimacy? You can't even withstand a single blow. 2 ultimacies. That kid has comprehended 2 ultimacies. That's too terrifying. He's only at LV1 true energy realm, but he has comprehended 2 ultimacies. How did he do it? It's such a pity that such a monstrous talent died at Lei Hong's hands. That's right. If he had the chance to raise his cultivation, he would definitely be a terrifying existence. After hearing Rayam's words, the surrounding people were shocked again, and their expressions changed one after another. They could not believe that a LV1 true energy realm martial artist could comprehend 2 ultimacies. While the crowd was still in shock, Emo Qingyun smiled faintly and replied to Lei Hong, "It seems like you're celebrating too early." Looking at Emo Qingyun's appearance, it seemed like nothing had happened. You're fine?" Seeing Emo Qingyun's relaxed expression, Lei Hong's face twitched. He was terrified. He could not believe that his strongest attack, which had caused countless people to suffer, had no effect on Emo Qingyun. "Why would I not be fine?" Hearing Lei Hong's words, Emo Qingyun smiled nonchalantly and said disdainfully, "You want to defeat me with a lullaby that you use to coax children to sleep? You're too naive." "Lullaby that you use to coax children to sleep?" Hearing Emo Qingyun's words, the surrounding people had the urge to vomit blood. They all looked at Emo Qingyun with resentment. "Brother, can you stop acting tough? We were almost killed by the tiger-leopard thunderous roar just now." At this moment, everyone was depressed and had suffered a huge blow. "Damn, boss is indeed boss. He's too amazing." Seeing Emo Qingyun's actions, Ling Luo, who was at the side, immediately revealed an excited expression. She looked at Emo Qingyun with eyes filled with admiration. "Looks like I've misjudged him again." Long Yutian smiled helplessly and took a sip of wine. He thought to himself, "Looks like I don't have to think too much. The remaining 2 candidates will be these 2. Chapter 197. Blazing Scarlet Dragon Appear. Emo Qingyun went all out and summoned his martial soul. Roar. Once the blazing scarlet dragon martial soul was summoned, a terrifying dragon aura was emitted above Emo Qingyun. A powerful soul power was released from the blazing scarlet dragon martial soul and infused into Emo Qingyun's body. With the support of this soul power, the aura on Emo Qingyun's body immediately became much stronger. Aside from that, his body also emitted a terrifying flame energy and a faint dragon aura. Sky Dragon Martial Soul. This kid's martial soul was actually the primordial Sky Dragon Martial Soul. Seeing the scarlet figure above Emo Qingyun, the surrounding people's expressions changed and they were shocked. The primordial Sky Dragon Martial Soul was at least level 12. Emo Qingyun's blazing scarlet dragon martial soul was obviously a high-grade primordial sky dragon. In other words, Emo Qingyun's martial soul might not be at level 12 and had reached an even higher grade. Level 13. When this number appeared in everyone's hearts, everyone felt a wave of absent-mindedness, and their hearts were quite shocked. This kid's talent is terrifying. With his talent, why would his family allow him to enter the 100 Countries battlefield? If he were to fall in the 100 Countries battlefield, his family would be heartbroken. Primordial Sky Dragon Martial Soul. This kind of martial soul is rare even in the Great Yin Empire. After seeing Emo Qingyun's martial soul, the surrounding people's expressions changed and they were shocked. According to their knowledge, under normal circumstances, people with superb martial souls rarely appeared in the 100 Countries battlefield. Even if people with superb martial souls entered the 100 Countries battlefield, they would only have the most ordinary superb martial souls, such as Lei Hong. After all, the 100 Countries battlefield was too chaotic. More importantly, one's cultivation would be suppressed and the advantage of a martial soul would not be obvious. In this way, people with high-grade martial souls might encounter all sorts of mishaps in the 100 Countries battlefield. This was not something that their families wanted to see. Especially someone like Emo Qingyun, who had a martial soul above level 12. He was definitely a treasure of the family, and they would not allow him to suffer any harm. Only when their wings were fully grown, or when a better cultivation environment appeared, would they be allowed to leave the clan. Otherwise, this kind of extremely talented junior would be confined in the various large clans and be hidden away to be nurtured. The primordial sky dragon martial soul. Seeing Emo Qingyun's martial soul, Ling Luo was shocked. After being stunned for a short while, Ling Luo revealed an excited expression. He said excitedly, "Boss is indeed boss. His martial spirit is indeed very impressive. What a powerful martial spirit! The grade of his martial spirit should be higher than mine." As Ling Luo revealed an excited expression, Long Yutian put down the wine jug in his hand and revealed a shocked expression. He thought to himself, a person with such a martial spirit shouldn't be from those small kingdoms. Could he be like me? With this thought, Long Yutian smiled. He picked up the wine jug and took a sip. Looks like I'm not the only one who is restless. I'll have company in the future. Haha. The primordial sky dragon martial soul. This kid actually has such a monstrous martial soul. Lei Hong's face twitched when he sensed the dragon's might coming from the scarlet flame heavenly dragon. He looked at Emo Qingyun with even more fear. At this moment, while everyone was still in shock, Emo Qingyun attacked Lei Hong again. Blood Qi Berserk. As soon as Emo Qingyun attacked, he immediately used his martial soul's super ability to increase the strength of his blood qi. As the strength of his blood qi increased, Emo Qingyun's aura immediately became stronger. Soon, it reached the peak of LV3 True Energy Realm. Peak of LV3 True Energy Realm. Feeling the change in Emo Qingyun's aura, the surrounding people's expressions changed again. They were shocked by the change in Emo Qingyun's cultivation. Is that a martial soul's super ability? A martial soul's super ability that can increase one's cultivation? This is too terrifying. He was able to suppress Lei Hong with his LV1 True Energy Realm cultivation. Now that he's at the peak of LV3 True Energy Realm, Lei Hong is in danger. It's been a long time since I've seen a kingdom ranked in the top 100 suffer. This time, the Thunder Kingdom has kicked an iron plate. For a moment, the crowd sighed again. They felt sorry for the loss of the rabbit. Emo Qingyun didn't care about the crowd's shock. After using his martial soul's super ability, he immediately attacked Lei Hong. Sun Incinerating Mountain Splitting Saber, Emo Qingyun held the red silk saber and slashed at Lei Hong. His action was decisive and without any hesitation. When the saber landed, the red silk saber's origin energy went berserk. Flames surged and rushed at Lei Hong like a fire dragon that had broken out of its cage. Wherever the fire dragon's saber light passed, the air was scorched and distorted. It was as if it was going to be burned away. Thunder Dragon chasing the sun. Seeing the fire dragon's saber light coming at him, Lei Hong didn't dare to hesitate and immediately counterattacked. He slammed the silver drum in his hand, and a silver lightning dragon immediately appeared and attacked the fire dragon's saber light. Poo poo poo. When the two red and silver dragon shadows met, they started to fight crazily. They constantly used their dragon claws to tear each other apart. The two dragon silhouettes fought violently. Suddenly, lightning flashed and flames surged, bursting out in all directions like fireworks. Amidst the dazzling and intense battle, a terrifying wave of origin energy also erupted from within, sweeping towards the surroundings. Under the aftermath of the battle, the surrounding ground was directly charred black by the lightning, and the scattered flames burned holes in the ground. Pooh pooh. The two dragon shadows fought crazily for a moment. In the end, the silver lightning dragon was no match for the fire dragon saberlight. It was split into two and dissipated in midair. Deng deng deng. As the silver dragon shadow was defeated, Lei Hong's body was shaken and he was forced to retreat. His face was somewhat pale. So strong. After discovering this, Lei Hong couldn't help but be shocked. A sense of fear rose in his heart. At this moment, he faintly felt that he was no match for Mo Qingyun. If he continued to fight, it would be disadvantageous for him. Run! Thinking of this, Lei Hong's expression darkened. He didn't intend to continue fighting with Mo Qingyun. He was ready to turn around and escape. In his opinion, where there was life, there was hope. It wouldn't be too late to seek revenge on Mo Qingyun after he gathered his men and helpers. After thinking this, Lei Hong no longer hesitated and immediately turned around to escape. He didn't care about the life and death of the other people in the Lei Kingdom. Seeing Lei Hong's action, Mo Qingyun curled the corner of his mouth and sneered. He understood Lei Hong's intention. This guy wants to escape from boss. What an idiot! Seeing Lei Hong's action, Ling Luo revealed a mocking smile. He was very clear about Mo Qingyun's speed. Bird of prey break, Mo Qingyun's body moved. He turned into a stream of light and chased after Lei Hong. Mo Qingyun's body flashed a few times. In the blink of an eye, he stood in front of Lei Hong and blocked his path. After blocking Lei Hong, Mo Qingyun revealed a mocking smile and said indifferently, "You can't escape from me. You don't go too far." Seeing that his path was blocked, Lei Hong's face twitched. He revealed a terrified expression and said, "Boy, I'm warning you. I'm from the Lei Kingdom. If you dare to touch me, the Lei Kingdom won't let you, your kingdom's people, and your family off." Hearing Lei Hong's words, Mo Qingyun's face immediately darkened. He said coldly, "What I hate the most is people using my family to threaten me. So, go to hell." Heavenly Soul Seal, as soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he didn't waste any more words with Lei Hong. He summoned several spiritual battle seals and attacked Lei Hong. Soul attack. Seeing the soul battle seals, Lei Hong's face changed. He revealed a shocked expression and said, So you are like this." At this moment, Lei Hong finally understood why his most powerful move was useless against Mo Qingyun. With Mo Qingyun's terrifying soul power, it would be strange if Lei Hong's martial soul super skill could hurt Mo Qingyun. Boom! While Lei Hong was still in shock, the soul battle seals bombarded his mind one after another. Under the bombardment of the soul battle seals, Lei Hong was in a trance and his expression became sluggish. Mo Qingyun did not show mercy to Lei Hong's current performance. He raised his red silk saber and slashed at Lei Hong. Poochie! The red silk saber pierced through Lei Hong's body, leaving a horrifying wound. After a while, Lei Hong regained his consciousness and realized that there was a huge wound on his body. His eyes widened, unable to accept this result. No, however, before Lei Hong could finish his words, his eyes widened and he fell to the ground, dead. He did not expect Mo Qingyun to be so fearless against the Thunder Kingdom. He also did not expect that Mo Qingyun would dare to kill him. Seeing Lei Hong dead on the ground, Mo Qingyun no longer paid any attention to him. He turned around and looked at the remaining people from the Thunder Kingdom. He walked closer and coldly said, "Since Lei Hong is already dead, you guys should accompany him. You don't come over." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words and seeing Mo Qingyun walking closer, the remaining people of the Thunder Kingdom were terrified. Mo Qingyun paid no attention to their pleas for mercy. He immediately made his move. Mo Qingyun's idea was that since they had already become enemies, there was no difference between killing one or all of them. He might as well kill all of them to prevent future trouble. Haha, to think that the Thunder Kingdom would have such a day. Seeing that Lei Hong was killed, the people of the Thunder Kingdom were like lambs waiting to be slaughtered. Ling Luo immediately showed a pleased expression and ran toward Mo Qingyun. He said excitedly, "Boss, let me help you. You can't kill all these people alone." This guy, seeing Ling Luo's smug actions, Long Yutian shook his head speechlessly. He leisurely drank his wine at the side, showing no intention of taking action. After a while, Emo Qingyun and Ling Luo attacked. The remaining people of the Thunder Kingdom all followed in Lei Hong's footstep. Awesome, too awesome. After exterminating the people of the Thunder Kingdom, Ling Luo showed a carefree expression. After letting out a joyful exclamation, he said regretfully, "It's a pity that Lei Hao isn't here. Otherwise, it would be even better." Seeing Ling Luo's actions, Emo Qingyun and Long Yutian looked at each other and smiled helplessly, shrugging their shoulders. Although this clown Ling Luo's actions were unorthodox, he was still a loyal person worthy of befriending. "The two of you, I heard that the true leader of the Thunder Kingdom, Lei Hao, seems to be in the nearby Jufang city." Long Yutian smiled faintly and walked toward Emo Qingyun and Ling Luo. He suggested, "Since you've killed the people of the Thunder Kingdom, we'd better leave quickly." "Lei Hao? It's even better that he's here. This young master will directly wipe them out." Hearing Long Yutian mention Lei Hao, Ling Luo immediately became indignant. He raised his head with a look of displeasure. "Brother Ling Luo, Lei Hao isn't someone Lei Hong and the others can compare to. His cultivation has reached the 7th level of the true energy realm, and he also possesses a superb martial spirit." Seeing Ling Luo's reaction, Long Yutian's expression froze. He said in a deep voice, "I think we should leave first and come back with a long-term plan. Ling Luo, since you're so powerful, why don't we let you deal with Lei Hao and the others when they arrive?" Emo Qingyun smiled faintly and said to Ling Luo. Hearing Long Yutian's words, Ling Luo immediately smiled embarrassedly and said, "Boss, I'm just bragging. Don't take it seriously, hee hee." Chapter 198. Brother Emo, your cultivation is only at true energy realm LV1. Did you just enter the 100 countries battlefield? Long Yutian asked Emo Qingyun curiously along the way. "Indeed, I just entered the 100 countries battlefield." Emo Qingyun nodded and admitted to Long Yutian's question. "I knew it." Long Yutian's expression froze when he heard Emo Qingyun's answer. His guess seemed to have been confirmed. Shortly after, a faint smile appeared on Long Yutian's face as he thought to himself, "Right now, the kingdoms that have entered the 100 countries battlefield are all ranked below 900. There will definitely be no one who possesses the ancient Sky Dragon martial spirit. He must be the same as me. But which clan does he come from? There doesn't seem to be a Mo clan in the Great Yin dynasty?" Long Yutian frowned and thought to himself. After thinking for a while, Long Yutian failed to find an answer. "Brother Long, where do you plan to bring us?" After following Long Yutian for a while, Emo Qingyun asked Long Yutian curiously. Emo Qingyun had a good impression of Long Yutian. He was warm-hearted, carefree, and uninhibited. He was a person worth befriending. "It's a secret for now. You'll know later." Long Yutian smiled mysteriously when he heard Emo Qingyun's question. He kept them in suspense and took a sip of wine. However, Long Yutian soon regretted keeping them in suspense. Ling Luo curled his lips when he heard Long Yutian's words. He said casually, "TSK? Just bring us to the Red Chamber. We're all adults. There's nothing to be shy about. I'm very familiar with that place." Long Yutian spat out the wine that Ling Luo had just drunk. He didn't even have time to swallow it. Then, Long Yutian and Emo Qingyun looked at Ling Luo strangely. Their eyes were filled with admiration. They were convinced. Long Yutian smiled bitterly and said gloomily, "I'm just bringing you to meet a few friends. It's not what Brother Ling Luo thinks. Friends? It's an acquaintance." But to Long Yutian's surprise, Ling Luo's eyes lit up when he heard Long Yutian's words. He winked at Long Yutian and said, "Brother Long, you're not being honest. If you didn't go there often, how could you be so familiar with her?" Puff. Long Yutian spat out another mouthful of wine. His face turned red as he looked at Emo Qingyun for help. Seeing Long Yutian's pleading eyes, Emo Qingyun explained for him. He said to Ling Luo, Ling Luo, Brother Long is just being nice. You don't have to say it out loud. What made Mo Qingyun feel helpless was that as soon as he said this, Ling Luo's expression became even more ambiguous. Got it, boss? Ling Luo nodded when he heard Mo Qingyun's words. Then, he gave Long Yutian an ambiguous look and smirked. Brother Long, I understand. Hearing Ling Luo's words, Long Yutian was completely speechless. He was extremely depressed. He raised his finger and pointed at Ling Luo. He was speechless for a long time. But Long Yutian had obviously underestimated Ling Luo's ability in this aspect. Seeing that Long Yutian was silent, Ling Luo walked towards him with a smirk. He said unhappily, Brother Long, don't be so stingy. We're brothers, so we should share more. Then, Ling Luo asked Long Yutian about all kinds of techniques and experiences. Long Yutian was tortured until he was completely convinced by Ling Luo. He looked at Mo Qingyun for help again. Mo Qingyun smiled helplessly when he saw Long Yutian's pleading. He said to Ling Luo, the good stuff is always revealed at the end. Don't ask Brother Long about it. Isn't it better to leave it a little mysterious? A little mysterious. Ling Luo's eyes lit up when he heard Mo Qingyun's words. He said excitedly, Boss, I get it. I get it. Fortunately, after hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Ling Luo stopped bothering Long Yutian. Long Yutian was relieved when he saw this. He looked at Mo Qingyun with gratitude. Just like that, Mo Qingyun and the other two finally arrived at the place that Long Yutian had mentioned. It was a simple courtyard house. There were only about 10 simple wooden huts in it. 2 young men who looked similar were standing outside the wooden hut. They seemed to be discussing something. Brother Yutian, you're back. Are these 2 the people you brought back? Seeing Long Yutian and the other 2, the 2 people at the door smiled and greeted Long Yutian. Yes. Long Yutian nodded and asked, Is everyone here? Yes. The 2 young men nodded in response. Brother Long, you're a regular. Even the guards are familiar with you. Seeing this, Ling Luo finally couldn't hold it in anymore. He patted Long Yutian's shoulder excitedly and laughed out loud. He sized up the small courtyard in front of him and smacked his lips in appreciation. TSK, although this place is a little remote and a little shabby, the atmosphere is quite unique. I like it. Brother Ling Luo, you've misunderstood. Long Yutian was speechless when he heard Ling Luo's words. He wanted to explain to Ling Luo. However, before he could finish speaking, Ling Luo's body moved and he rushed into the small courtyard with a single stride. Wow, such a beautiful girl. I've never seen her before. No wonder Brother Long comes here so often. Ling Luo exclaimed when he saw the girl in purple. He winked at Long Yutian and said, Brother Long, you're a good brother. Brother Ling, you've misunderstood. Long Yutian's face twitched when he saw Ling Luo's actions. He became nervous and hurriedly waved at Ling Luo, signaling him to come back. However, what made Long Yutian helpless was that after Ling Luo saw his actions, he became even more excited. He rushed in front of the purple-robed woman and said arrogantly, Beauty, I will take you in today. Name a price. He's doomed. Long Yutian's face twitched when he saw Ling Luo's actions. He had a bad feeling about this. Long Yutian was not the only one. The 2 young men beside him also had their faces twitched when they saw this. One of them looked at Ling Luo sympathetically and said, This guy is doomed. Talking to Sister Ruo Shui like this, even if he doesn't die, he'll be skinned alive. Let's hope he can still see the sun tomorrow. The other young man added. The girl in purple's face darkened when she heard Ling Luo's words. She said coldly, You're asking for it. Clang. The girl in purple unsheathed her sword and slashed at Ling Luo. Heavenly frost chi, as the woman slashed out with her sword, the surrounding temperature instantly dropped by a few degrees. An ice-blue sword ray swept towards Ling Luo. Wow, what a wild beauty! I like it. Ling Luo was shocked when he saw the girl in purple's attack. He became even more excited. Ling Luo said excitedly. He looked at the girl in purple with a cheeky smile and said, "Beauty, I'm also a swordsman. Since you like it this way, I'll play with you." "Pervert, you're asking for it." The girl in purple's face turned even colder when she heard Ling Luo's words. Her hands moved even more fiercely, and each of her attacks was fatal. "He's doomed. He's doomed." Long Yutian slapped his forehead when he saw this. He instantly felt a headache coming on. "Brother Yutian, if you don't save your friend, I'm afraid he'll really be killed by Sister Ruoshui," the young man at the side said to Long Yutian. "I'm afraid even Brother Yutian won't be able to control the situation," the other young man said. At that moment, as Long Yutian and the other two were talking, Ling Luo sent out a cry for help. He ran towards Emo Qingyun and said, "Boss, quickly save me. This woman has thorns." Everyone was speechless when they heard Ling Luo's words. "Brother Long, you tricked me. I wouldn't dare to take this woman for free. I want a refund." After rushing out of the courtyard, Ling Luo looked at Long Yutian with resentment. He was extremely dissatisfied. "Shameless man, watch out for my sword," the girl in purple shouted when she heard Ling Luo's words. She slashed her sword at Ling Luo again, as if she wanted to kill Ling Luo. Long Yutian could no longer sit still when he saw the girl in purple's actions. He hurriedly said to the girl in purple, "Miss Ruoshui, this is a misunderstanding. Please have mercy and listen to my explanation." "There are no good men," the girl in purple snorted when she saw Long Yutian. She glared at him and said, "Long Yutian, I didn't know you were this kind of person. I've misjudged you. You'd better stay out of this." Long Yutian was embarrassed when he heard Ruoshui's words. He laughed embarrassedly. Long Yutian had no choice but to look at Emo Qingyun. In his opinion, it was better for Emo Qingyun to step in. He knew very well that even if he stepped in, he wouldn't be able to deal with the girl in purple. "Boss, save me. This girl is too cruel. She's going to tear me into pieces." At this moment, when Long Yutian looked at Emo Qingyun, Ling Luo cried out for help again. Ling Luo was in a sorry state. His clothes were torn to shreds by the sword Qi. Fire Dragon Seal. Emo Qingyun didn't hesitate when he saw this. He blocked the girl in purple's attack for Ling Luo. He knew that if this continued, Ling Luo might really be injured by the girl in purple. Of course, Emo Qingyun also knew that Ling Luo was in such a sorry state because he hadn't used his full strength yet. Otherwise, the situation wouldn't be like this. It was very likely that both sides would suffer losses. Qi, the blue sword Qi, blasted onto the fire dragon battle seal and immediately turned into a mist that dissipated between heaven and earth. The girl in purple's face darkened when she saw that Emo Qingyun had blocked her attack. She looked at Emo Qingyun and said coldly, "Get out of my way. Otherwise, don't blame me for being rude. He's my brother. I can't let you touch him. I'm sorry." Emo Qingyun smiled bitterly when he saw the girl in purple's cold expression. He shrugged his shoulders in response. "Since you're birds of a feather, I'll kill you first." Chapter 199. Fire Dragon Seal. Emo Qingyun didn't hesitate when he saw Ruoshui's sword slashing towards him. He raised his hand and summoned the Fire Dragon Battle Seal to block the attack. Qi, the icy blue sword light, slammed into the flaming shield, and immediately turned into a cloud of mist, dissipating into the air. "Boss, you're too awesome!" Ling Luo exclaimed excitedly when he saw Emo Qingyun easily neutralize Ruoshui's attack. It was as if he was the one who had neutralized Ruoshui's attack. Brother Emo is still the best. Seeing Emo Qingyun's nonchalant actions, Long Yutian also had a look of admiration on his face as he sighed inwardly. He knew that he would not be able to neutralize Ruoshui's attack as easily as Emo Qingyun did. Lady Ruoshui's attack was neutralized so easily. This lad is not simple. He's only at level 1 true energy realm, but he can neutralize Ruo Shui's attack so easily. This ability is really surprising. This lad specializes in the power of fire and can restrain Sister Ruo Shui. Otherwise, he might not have been able to do so. The two young men at the side also revealed shocked expressions as they let out exclamations of admiration, one after another. Ruo Shui was enraged when she saw that her technique was countered by Mo Qingyun. Of course, she was more shocked than anything else. She was at level 4 true energy realm, but she was actually suppressed by someone at level 1 true energy realm. Even if Mo Qingyun's fire-based martial technique could restrain her ice-based martial technique, it would not be easy for him to do so. After all, her cultivation was much higher than Mo Qingyun's. It was impossible to ignore such a huge difference in cultivation. If Ruo Shui had known that Mo Qingyun had released the fire intent into the fire dragon battle mark when he had made his move, she wouldn't have been surprised. Mo Qingyun looked apologetic when he saw that Ruo Shui did not continue to attack. He cupped his hands and said, "Miss, my little brother has offended you. I apologize on his behalf. I hope you can forgive him." Seeing Mo Qingyun's sincere apology, Ruo Shui's expression became a little better. She knew that with her martial skills being suppressed, even if she continued to fight, she wouldn't be able to gain the slightest advantage. From the looks of it, Mo Qingyun's current actions were sincere in apologizing to her. After thinking about this, Ruo Shui's expression turned for the better, but her tone was still cold as she said, "Doesn't he have a mouth? Does he need someone else to apologize for him?" "I don't have a mouth?" When Ling Luo heard Ruo Shui's words, he immediately revealed a dumbstruck expression. Seeing Ling Luo's expression, Mo Qingyun glared at him and urged, "What are you standing there for? Hurry up and apologize to Miss Ruo Shui." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Ling Luo revealed an unwilling expression. He walked in front of Ruo Shui and apologized, "I offended you just now. I hope you can forgive me." Seeing Ling Luo's insincere apology, Ruo Shui snorted coldly. She rolled her eyes at him and ignored him. Phew! Seeing that the misunderstanding had been resolved, Long Yutian let out a deep breath. His expression relaxed and he gave Mo Qingyun a thumbs up. He really didn't expect that with Ruo Shui's personality, she would accept Mo Qingyun's apology so easily. At this moment, just as Mo Qingyun and the others were talking, 4 figures walked over. "Haha, it's so lively. Everyone is here." As the 4 figures walked closer, one of them laughed and greeted everyone. Seeing the 4 people in front of him, Long Yutian revealed a trace of doubt and asked, "Why don't I see Brother Lu?" "Brother Lu," he went back to his room. Among the 4 who had just arrived, one of them smiled awkwardly and said, "Brother Long, you know his personality. He doesn't like crowded places." "That's true." After hearing this, Long Yutian laughed and said, "Everyone, let me introduce you then." Long Yutian introduced everyone to Mo Qingyun. After Long Yutian's introduction, Mo Qingyun knew that the 4 people in front of him looked similar. They were the 4 brothers with the surname Zhuo. They were Zhuo Mu, Zhuo Lin, Zhuo Sen, and Zhuo Chai. However, when the remaining 2 were introduced, Long Yutian revealed a trace of doubt. He looked at Zhuo Mu and asked, "Brother Zhuo Mu, who are these 2? Seeing Long Yutian's puzzled expression, Zhuo Mu smiled faintly and introduced them. "These 2 are the brothers Ma Ju and Ma Hua." At this moment, when Zhuo Mu introduced Ma Ju and Ma Hua, Ma Ju revealed a fawning expression and asked Ruo Shui, "Miss Ruo Shui, did someone make you unhappy? Tell me who he is and I'll teach him a lesson for you." "No need, I can handle my own matters." Hearing Ma Ju's words, Ruo Shui glanced at him with slight disgust and coldly replied. However, when Ruo Shui responded to Ma Ju, she glanced at Mo Qingyun. Seeing Ruo Shui's action, Ma Ju revealed an arrogant expression. He looked at Emo Qingyun and coldly said, "Boy, so it was you who made Miss Ruo Shui unhappy. I don't care how you made Miss Ruo Shui unhappy, but I order you to apologize to her immediately. Meddling in other people's business. Whether or not my boss made her unhappy is none of your business." Hearing Ma Ju's words, Ling Luo curled his lips and glanced at him disdainfully. Seeing Ling Luo's attitude, Ma Ju's face darkened and he coldly said, "Boy, do you know the consequences of your words?" Seeing Ma Ju's arrogant expression, Ling Luo looked at him provocatively and disdainfully replied, "I don't know what the consequences of my words will be. I only know that you're not qualified to trample on others to please a woman." Ling Luo continued, "Also, a sticky candy like you only makes others feel disgusted and disgusted. Why don't you take a piss and look at yourself in the mirror? Are you worthy of Miss Ruo Shui?" Hearing Ling Luo's words, Ruo Shui's expression changed slightly. She looked at Ling Luo with less hostility. From the looks of it, Ling Luo's words at this moment had spoken her thoughts. "Brother Long, isn't your friend's words a bit too much?" At that moment, after Ling Luo finished speaking, Zhuomu revealed a displeased expression and looked at Long Yutian with dissatisfaction. "Too much?" Hearing Zhuomu's words, Emo Qingyun narrowed his eyes and looked coldly at Zhuomu. He said coldly, "Ma Ju wanted to trample on me to please Miss Ruo Shui. Why didn't you say that his actions were too much?" Hearing Emo Qingyun's words, Zhuomu's expression turned cold again. He looked at Long Yutian unhappily and said, "Brother Long, is this the friend you found?" When Long Yutian heard Zhuomu's words, he picked up the wine jug and took a sip. He smiled faintly and said, "Brother Zhuomu, this is between Brother Emo and Brother Ma Ju. I think that as bystanders, it's better for us not to interfere." After saying that, Long Yutian took the wine jug and walked to the side. He smiled faintly at Emo Qingyun and said, "Brother Emo, this matter has put me in a difficult position. I can't help you resolve it, so I hope you can understand." As he spoke, Long Yutian gave Emo Qingyun a look. His meaning couldn't be more obvious. He was telling Emo Qingyun not to hold back. "Okay." Seeing Long Yutian's action, Emo Qingyun smiled faintly and nodded in response. Seeing Long Yutian's action, the four Zhuo brothers didn't say anything and walked to the side with displeasure. Seeing this, Ruo Shui looked at Emo Qingyun with a complicated expression and also walked to the side. At this moment, everyone cleared the area and let Emo Qingyun and the other three resolve their conflict. A LV1 True Energy Realm Brat and a LV3 True Energy Realm Brat dare to provoke us. I think you're tired of living. Seeing that everyone wanted the four of them to resolve their conflict, Ma Ju immediately revealed a sinister smile and spoke proudly. In his opinion, it would be too easy for him and his brother to deal with Emo Qingyun and Zhuohua since they were both LV4 True Energy Realm cultivators. After hearing Ma Ju's words, Ma Hua also sneered proudly. He looked at Emo Qingyun and Zhuohua and said, "Brat, for Brother Zhuomu's sake, we don't want to make things too difficult for you. As long as you kowtow to me and beg for mercy, then break one of your arms and one of your legs, I'll spare your lives." "Kowtow to you and beg for mercy?" When Ling Luo heard Ma Hua's words, he curled his lips in disdain and replied, "It's not that I am looking down on you. However, with your pathetic appearances, I can easily destroy you all with just one hand. Brat, you're courting death." When Ma Hua heard Ling Luo's words, he clenched his teeth in anger. He did not waste any more words and immediately attacked Ling Luo. Wild Horse Runaway, Ma Hua punched out with both his fists. The Yuan power on his fists surged out like water from a broken dam. It transformed into the shadow of several wild horses and trampled towards Ling Luo. Sword Burst Meteor. Seeing Ma Ju's attack, Ling Luo did not hesitate and immediately counterattacked. Ling Luo raised his hand and a silver longsword appeared in his hand. He brandished the long sword continuously, emitting rays of dazzling light. After these rays of light bloomed, they transformed into rays of sword light and slashed at the shadow of the galloping horse at the speed of a meteor. Bang, bang, bang. When the sword's shadow slashed at the galloping horse, it immediately emitted a series of explosions and destroyed the shadow of the galloping horse. Seeing the fierce battle between Ma Hua and Ling Luo, Ma Ju sneered and said, "Second brother, you're too impatient." After saying these words, Ma Ju looked arrogantly at Emo Qingyun and said coldly, "Brat, how do you want to die?" "How do I want to die?" Hearing Ma Ju's words, Emo Qingyun smiled faintly and replied, "You think too highly of yourself. If I want to deal with you, I don't even need to lift a finger." "Don't even need to lift a finger." Hearing Emo Qingyun's words, the surrounding people, except for Long Yutian, were shocked. They were shocked by Emo Qingyun's arrogant words. Emo Qingyun's words were too arrogant. How could he defeat others without lifting a finger? Shameless boasting. Chapter 200. Silver Horse Trampling the Sky. As soon as Ma Ju finished speaking, he leaped up and raised his hand to punch Emo Qingyun. After Ma Ju leaped into the air, a terrifying origin energy erupted from his body and transformed into the shadow of a Pegasus. As he approached Emo Qingyun, his aura became more and more terrifying. He was like a wild horse that was difficult to tame. What a domineering martial skill! Ma Ju's strength is much stronger than we expected. With Ma Ju's current combat strength, even I would have to put in a lot of effort to deal with him. It seems that under Ma Ju's attack the boy is doomed. I don't think so. This boy's strength is definitely not simple. He just neutralized Miss Ruo Shui's attack. What? This boy actually has such ability? Seeing Ma Ju's attack, Zhuomu and the others' expressions changed and they each expressed their own thoughts. While Zhuomu and the others were whispering to each other, Long Yutian smiled faintly and leisurely drank his wine without saying a word. As for Ruo Shui, her expression was cold and indifferent. She stood silently to the side and watched Emo Qingyun's battle quietly. Emo Qingyun smiled faintly when he saw Ma Ju charging at him at extreme speed, and he counterattacked. Golden Jade Real Body. Emo Qingyun displayed the Golden Jade Real Body as soon as he attacked. Then, his aura immediately surged and a golden jade luster appeared on his skin. Gravity suppression. After displaying the Golden Jade Real Body, Emo Qingyun released the Earth Ultimacy. Then, his aura surged again. Then, Emo Qingyun took a step forward with a shocking oppressive force toward Ma Ju, who was charging at him rapidly. As soon as the oppressive force appeared, it spread out like a light wave with a terrifying impact force. Under the impact of this aura, the ground around Emo Qingyun caved in from the pressure, and dust and sand flew into the air. Bang! At the same time, Ma Ju, who was charging towards Emo Qingyun at top speed, was also suppressed to the ground by this terrifying pressure. Puff! Under the terrifying pressure, Ma Ju immediately coughed up a mouthful of blood. Her face paled as she looked at Emo Qingyun in horror. The power of Upanishad. He had actually sensed a powerful intent from Emo Qingyun's body. Such a situation had truly exceeded his expectations. What caused him to be even more terrified was that he noticed that he was actually unable to even stand up under the suppression of this energy of profundity. If that was the case, how could he fight Emo Qingyun? When he thought of this, Ma Ju's expression turned bitter. He finally understood what Emo Qingyun meant. Under the suppression of Emo Qingyun's power Upanishad, he couldn't even stand up. If Emo Qingyun wanted to deal with him, why would he need to attack him? Profound of Earth. Sensing Emo Qingyun's power Upanishad, Zhuomu and the others' faces twitched and their eyes widened in shock. Emo Qingyun had actually comprehended the power of Upanishad. This situation had greatly exceeded their expectations. What shocked them even more was that Emo Qingyun's control of the power of Upanishad was not the type that had just been comprehended. Profound of earth. This kid has actually mastered the power of Upanishad. How is this possible? Has this kid's cultivation reached the peak of the true energy realm? Did he deliberately suppress his cultivation and not break through to the Yuan Dan realm so that he could enter the battlefield of the true energy realm? For a moment, the expressions of Zhuomu and the others kept changing. They were so shocked that they started to speculate. In their opinion, since Emo Qingyun could comprehend the power of Upanishad, his true cultivation must have reached the peak of the true energy realm. This guy didn't use his full strength when he was fighting with me just now. Seeing Emo Qingyun display the power of Upanishad, Ruoshui was shocked and her heart could not calm down for a long time. Thinking back to the fight just now, she pouted and felt a little depressed. In the fight just now, Emo Qingyun had easily suppressed her without using his full strength. This result was a huge blow to her. From this, it could be seen that the difference in strength between her and Emo Qingyun was still very big. Compared to the shock of Zhuomu and the others, Long Yutian's expression was much calmer. After all, when Emo Qingyun and Lei Hong had fought before, he had already seen that Emo Qingyun had comprehended the power of profundity. Emo Qingyun did not pay attention to the reactions of the crowd and slowly walked towards Ma Ju. Bang, bang, bang. With every step Emo Qingyun took, Ma Ju felt the pressure on her body increase. Puff. Finally, under this pressure, Ma Ju spat out another mouthful of blood and looked at Emo Qingyun in horror. Seeing Ma Ju's reaction, Emo Qingyun looked at him with disdain and mocked. "Do you still think that I need to fight with you?" Hearing Emo Qingyun's words, Ma Ju was immediately speechless and did not know how to answer. "Get lost." Seeing that Ma Ju was at a loss for words, Emo Qingyun did not want to waste time with him and directly kicked him, sending him flying. Puff. After being kicked by Emo Qingyun, Ma Ju spat out another mouthful of blood and her face became even paler. Half dead, she lay on the ground, motionless. Looking at Ma Ju lying on the ground like a dead dog, Emo Qingyun said disdainfully, "Today, I will spare your life on account of Brother Long." After Emo Qingyun finished speaking, he walked towards Long Yutian and watched the fight between Ling Luo and Lei Hong. "Thank you, Brother Emo." Seeing that Emo Qingyun was approaching, Long Yutian expressed his gratitude. He knew that Emo Qingyun did not kill Ma Ju because Ma Ju was found by Zhuomu and the others. If Emo Qingyun killed Ma Ju, he would be in a difficult position and would not be able to give Zhuomu and the others an explanation. Damn, boss is awesome. He finished the fight so quickly. When Ling Luo saw that the battle on Emo Qingyun's side had ended, he was shocked. He said in a low voice, "It looks like I have to speed up as well." Then, Ling Luo did not hesitate and immediately attacked with all his strength. Spiritual Sword Martial Soul, appear. Once Ling Luo finished speaking, he summoned his martial soul. The aura on his body immediately became sharp. At the same time, a silver sword shadow appeared above his body, emitting a sharp soul power. The spiritual sword martial soul was an ordinary level 12 martial soul. Ling Luo actually had a level 12 superior martial soul. After seeing this scene, everyone's expression changed, and they felt extremely shocked in their hearts. This guy also has a level 12 martial soul. Seeing Ling Luo's spiritual sword martial spirit, Ruo Shui's expression instantly changed. She started to ponder in her heart, "This brat is very strong. Could it be that he was purposely going easy on me earlier?" Sword manipulation. After calling out his martial soul, Ling Luo did not hesitate and immediately displayed his martial soul superpower. Once the martial soul superpower was displayed, 8 swords appeared in Ling Luo's hands and he attacked Ma Hua aggressively. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Under Ling Luo's control, the 9 long swords emitted sounds of breaking through the air as they slashed toward Ma Hua at an extremely fast speed. They were as fast as lightning and extremely fierce. Under Ling Luo's aggressive attack, Ma Hua immediately fell into a passive position and was in danger. Puff puff puff, after a while, Ma Hua was caught off guard and was slashed by the long swords. Horrible wounds appeared on his body and blood flowed out. Seeing this, Ling Luo did not continue to attack. He looked at Ma Hua with disdain and said, "You're too weak. I haven't even used my strength and you're already weak. You're really disappointing." After Ling Luo said those disdainful words, he no longer paid any attention to Ma Hua. He walked over to Emo Qingyun with a joyful expression. He smiled embarrassedly and said, "Boss, my performance was not bad, right?" "Haha, not bad." Hearing Ling Luo's words, Emo Qingyun smiled faintly and patted Ling Luo's shoulder in encouragement. "What's going on?" At this moment, when Ling Luo came to Emo Qingyun's side, a cold voice came from the small house. Chapter 201. Brother Lu, you're here. Long Yutian smiled faintly when he saw the young man in white approaching. He greeted him and explained, "Just now, 2 of my friends had a small conflict with the Ma Ju brothers." The young man in white nodded at Long Yutian's words. He glanced at Emo Qingyun and Long Yutian but didn't say anything. "Brother Emo, Brother Ling, this is Lu Fangliang, Brother Lu." Long Yutian smiled faintly and introduced Emo Qingyun and the others. "Brother Lu, this is Emo Qingyun." Then, Emo Qingyun and Long Yutian cupped their hands and greeted Lu Fangliang. At this moment, Zhuomu looked displeased and couldn't help but say, "Brother Lu, these 2 are rude and unreasonable. They injured the Ma Ju brothers over a small matter. Please be the judge of this matter." "That's right," Zhuo Sun added. "The Ma Ju brothers were here to replace the other 2 candidates. Now that they've injured them, wouldn't our journey be delayed?" "Bah! Nonsense. They were the ones who caused trouble for us in order to please Miss Ruoshui." Hearing Zhuomu's words, Ling Luo immediately became angry and defended himself. "Kid, you're courting death." Hearing Ling Luo's words, Zhuomu's face darkened. He glared at Ling Luo coldly and was about to attack. "Zhuomu, wait!" Seeing Zhuomu's actions, Lu Fangliang shouted coldly and stopped Zhuomu. He looked at Long Yutian and asked, "Brother Long, what's going on?" From the looks of it, Lu Fangliang seemed to believe Long Yutian's words more. "It's like this." Seeing that Lu Fangliang was looking at him, Long Yutian began to tell him everything that had happened. "Brother Zhuomu, this is their private matter. Let's not interfere." After listening to Long Yutian's explanation, Lu Fangliang said coldly, "As for the remaining 2 candidates, how about we let them replace us?" When Lu Fangliang said this, he pointed at Emo Qingyun and Ma Ju, implying that Emo Qingyun and Ma Ju should replace Ma Ju and Ma Ju. Upon hearing Lu Fangliang's words, Long Yutian immediately smiled and said, "Brother Lu, I actually invited Brother Emo and the others here because of the remaining 2 candidates." As soon as Long Yutian said that, everyone's expression changed. They were a little surprised. "Brother Lu, you mustn't. We still need to discuss the characters of these 2. You mustn't let them join." Upon hearing Lu Fangliang's decision, Zhuo Sen's expression immediately changed and he retorted, "I think the 2 of them will be better than Ma Ju and his brother." Just as Zhuo Sen's words fell, Ruoshui suddenly opened her mouth and expressed her opinion. Upon hearing Ruoshui's words, everyone's expression changed. They were a little surprised by Ruoshui's decision. Logically speaking, Ling Luo had angered Ruoshui just now. She should have objected with all her might. Seeing Ruoshui's action, Ling Luo's eyes immediately lit up. He flattered, "Miss Ruoshui, you're really beautiful and intelligent." "Stop flattering me. I just want to have a strong helper after entering the 9 temples' secret treasury." Ruoshui rolled her eyes at Ling Luo's words and said coldly, "Also, don't overthink it. The strong helper I'm talking about is not you." When Ruo Shui said this, she unconsciously glanced at Emo Qingyun. Her gaze had a strange color. Upon receiving Ruo Shui's roll of eyes, Ling Luo's expression immediately became awkward. He had brought a snub upon himself. I also think it's better to let Brother Emo and his brother join than Ma Ju and his brother. At this time, Long Yutian chuckled and expressed his opinion. Since everyone thinks that the two of them are more suitable, then let them replace Ma Ju and his brother. At this time, Zhuamu's eyes flashed with a trace of craftiness. A cold smile appeared at the corner of his mouth as he voiced his opinion. Big brother, why are you? Upon hearing Zhuamu's words, Zhua Sun and the others were surprised. They did not understand why Zhuamu would do this. Logically speaking, he was the one who invited Ma Ju and his brother, so he should firmly object. At this moment, Zhuamu's abnormal behavior puzzled Zhuo Lin and the other two. Second brother, third brother, fourth brother, Brother Lu is our captain. Since he has spoken, let's listen to him. Zhuamu smiled faintly at Zhuo Lin and the others. Then, Zhuamu glanced coldly at Emo Qingyun and ordered Zhuo Lin, help Ma Ju and his brother up. Let's go back to the house. Yes, big brother. Hearing Zhuamu's words, Zhuo Lin and the others showed unwillingness. They helped Ma Ju and his brother back to the house. Emo Qingyun frowned slightly when he saw that Zhuamu had suddenly compromised. He secretly pondered in his heart. He thought that Zhuamu's behavior was too abnormal, but he did not care too much. In front of him, Zhuamu and the others could not play any trick. Brother Long, arrange a place for Brother Emo and Brother Ling to stay. Seeing Zhuamu and the others leave, Lu Fengliang said to Long Yutian and returned to his room alone. Seeing Lu Fengliang leave, Ruo Shui glanced at Emo Qingyun and also left without saying anything. Brother Emo, Brother Ling, Brother Lu and Miss Ruo Shui are cold on the outside but warm on the inside. You don't have to worry about it. You will get used to it after a long time. Long Yutian laughed and made a gesture of invitation, saying, Let's go, I will take you to your residence. Okay. Hearing this, Emo Qingyun nodded and followed Long Yutian to their residence. Inside Zhuamu's room. Brother Ma Ju, Brother Ma Hua, I have wronged you this time. I am really sorry. After returning to his room, Zhuamu had an apologetic expression as he apologized to Ma Ju. Then, he took out a universe bag and said, There are 100,000 spirit essence stones inside. Consider it compensation for the two of you. I hope you two can accept it. Brother Zhuamu is too serious. Since that is the case, we will not be polite. Seeing Zhuamu's action, Ma Ju first greeted him politely and then took the universe bag from Zhuamu. Seeing Ma Ju accept the universe bag, Zhuamu smiled faintly and said, The two of you, your injuries are not light. You should go back and treat your injuries first. In that case, the two of us will take our leave first. Hearing Zhuamu's words, Ma Ju and Ma Hua nodded and left Zhuamu's room. Seeing Ma Ju and Ma Hua leave the room, Zhuo Lin and the others were unhappy and gloomy as they looked at Ma Ju and Ma Hua's back. Big brother, these two guys didn't do anything. Giving them 100,000 elemental spirit stones is too easy for them. In my opinion, we should take advantage of their serious injuries and kill them directly. We can even get a small return. Big brother, why did you agree to let those two boys join us? Yeah, those two boys are obviously on the same side as Long Yutian. If they join us, it will be very troublesome for us. After Ma Ju and Ma Hua left the room, Zhuo Lin and the others voiced their dissatisfaction. Hearing everyone's thoughts, Zhuamu smiled faintly and spread his hands, indicating Zhuo Lin and the others to stop. Seeing that Zhuo Lin and the others had stopped talking, Zhuamu said, Don't pay attention to Ma Ju and Ma Hua. They are just small fries. We can't let them ruin the big picture. Hearing Zhuamu's words, Zhuo Lin and the others' expressions changed slightly and they nodded one after another. At this time, Zhuamu showed a mysterious smile and looked at Zhuo Lin and said, second brother, do you find that Emo Chinyan looks familiar? Familiar? Hearing Zwamu's words, Zwalin pondered and recalled Emo Chinyan's appearance in his mind. After a while, Zwalin's eyes immediately lit up and he was shocked. He said in surprise, Big brother, you mean? Emo Chinyan is the person on the notice in Jiufang City? That's right. Seeing that Zwalin remembered, Zwamu sneered and said, If my guess is correct, this boy should be that person. Big brother, second brother, what are you talking about? Why can't we understand at all? Hearing Zwalin and Zwamu's conversation, Zwasen and Zwalin were puzzled and puzzled. Hearing Zwasen's question, Zwalin sneered and said in an excited tone, Third brother, fourth brother, not long ago, when Big brother and I went to Jiufang City to ask Ma Ju and Ma Huahua for help, we saw a notice posted in Jiufang City saying that a boy had obtained an ancient treasure. Moreover, the ancient treasure that was talked about a few days ago was also obtained by him. This person is Emo Chinyan. What? It's actually that boy. Hearing Zwalin's words, Zwasen and Zwalin were shocked and understood Zwamu's plan. Subsequently, Zwasen and Zwalin were overjoyed and excitedly said, Could it be that Big brother wants these two boys to join us so that we can catch them all in one fell swoop? Not only do we want to obtain the 9 temples treasure, we also want to obtain the ancient treasure. That's right. Seeing that Zwasen and the rest understood his plan, Zwamu sneered proudly and said in a deep voice, As long as we obtain the 9 temples treasure and the ancient treasure that Emo Chinyan possesses, the 4 of us brothers will concentrate on our cultivation. When the 4 of us come out of seclusion, it will be the time for us to dominate the great Yin Empire. Big brother is wise. Hearing Zwamu's words, Zwalin and the rest became excited and longing appeared on their faces. Chapter 202. In the small house. Lei Hong's silver drum is not bad. I can blood bond with it for future use. Emo Chinyan sat with his legs crossed. He took out Lei Hong's Qiankuan bag and was about to take out the silver drum. Pung pung pung, when Emo Chinyan took out Lei Hong's Qiankuan bag and opened it, he suddenly felt his eyes twitching rapidly. There seemed to be something in the Qiankuan bag that resonated with his eyes. What's going on? Feeling his eyes twitching, Emo Chinyan's expression changed and he was shocked. Then, he sensed Lei Hong's Qiankuan bag and wanted to find the thing that caused his eyes to twitch. After a while, a black thing that looked like a long whip caught his attention. This is the thing that resonated with my eyes? Taking out the thing that looked like a long whip, Emo Chinyan frowned and looked at it carefully. This seems to be an eyelash. After inspecting it, Emo Chinyan realized what it was. He couldn't help but be shocked. I've refined the bloodline of the eye demon, causing my eyes to mutate. Since this item can trigger my eyes, does it have something to do with the eye demon? After discovering it, Emo Chinyan looked at the black eyelash carefully again. He wanted to find out the secret behind it. There seems to be a powerful force in the black eyelash. After sensing it with his soul power, Emo Chinyan was shocked again. He was shocked by the result. Boom. At this moment, while Emo Chinyan was shocked, a terrifying soul power blasted into his mind. Soul Heaven Seal. After he noticed this, Emo Chinyan didn't dare hesitate at all. He immediately withdrew 27 soul battle seals and formed a soul wall to resist the soul energy that was corroding towards him. Boom boom boom, as soon as the soul wall was formed, the terrifying invading soul power fiercely collided with it. That kind of feeling was like the surging waves of the sea crashing against the riverbank. The Gate of Seals seal. Seeing this, Emo Chinyan didn't dare to hesitate at all. He immediately used his martial soul superpower to seal the soul power that was invading his body. Under the seal of the Gate of Seals, the invading soul force finally stabilized a lot and was no longer extremely violent. Who? Seeing that the invading soul force had been sealed, Emo Chinyan let out a deep breath. His heart relaxed as he thought to himself, that was close. What a terrifying soul attack. Just the soul power contained in a single eyelash was already so powerful. Just what kind of existence was this person? Could it be the sovereign? At this moment, Emo Qingyun's heart was filled with doubt. He believed that even if he was at his peak, he would not be able to reach this level. In that case, only an even more powerful entity, the Sovereign Lord, could reach such a level. After a brief moment of shock, Emo Qingyun no longer hesitated and began to refine the soul energy that had invaded his mind. Emo Qingyun spent the rest of the time refining the soul. After a few hours, Emo Qingyun slowly opened his eyes. His face was filled with joy. The peak of the initial stage of the spirit origin realm. After refining the invading soul force, Emo Qingyun's soul cultivation had improved by leaps and bounds. After this discovery, Emo Qingyun no longer hesitated and began to refine the black eyelash. As Emo Qingyun refined the black eyelash, he immediately felt a powerful force enter his body. As this powerful force entered his body, Emo Qingyun immediately felt that the power of his eye was rapidly growing stronger. This black eyelash is indeed related to the eye demon. After this discovery, Emo Qingyun's heart trembled. He now had an answer to his previous conjecture. Immediately, Mo Qingyun worked even harder to refine the black eyelash. After an unknown amount of time, the black eyelash was finally successfully refined by Emo Qingyun and strengthened the power of his eye. At this moment, when Emo Qingyun opened his eyes flashed with a purple light and his gaze became sharper. Not only that, after refining the black eyelash, Emo Qingyun clearly felt that the suppression of the Pill Palace by the 100 Countries battlefield had significantly weakened. The suppression of the Pill Palace by the battlefield has weakened again. After this discovery, Emo Qingyun's expression changed, and he tried to use the power of the Pill Palace. After a series of attempts, Emo Qingyun was slightly disappointed and said, although I can use some of it, it's only at the true Qi realm. It seems like I have to speed up the killing of the eye demon and refine the bloodline of the eye demon. However, if I hunt the eye demon alone, I'm afraid the efficiency will be lower. Thinking about searching for the eye demon alone in the huge 100 Countries battlefield, Missouri Qingyun felt that it was unrealistic. Immediately, he began to think about how to deal with it. After a while, Emo Qingyun's eyes suddenly lit up and he thought to himself, perhaps I can build a force and get them to help me find the eye demon's traces. Once this idea came to his mind, it took root in Emo Qingyun's heart and he felt that this was a feasible idea. Then, Emo Qingyun continued to check Lei Hong's Qiankuan bag to see if there was anything valuable inside. These are battlefield origin crystals. After a series of checks, some purplish-black crystals in the Qiankuan bag attracted his attention. Battlefield origin crystals were formed by the battlefield origin energy in the 100 Countries battlefield. They could be absorbed by warriors to increase their battlefield origin energy. Seeing this, Emo Qingyun did not hesitate and immediately started to refine the battlefield origin crystals. Then, the battlefield origin energy in the battlefield origin crystals were forcefully extracted by Emo Qingyun and refined bit by bit to increase his battlefield origin energy. Time passed quickly as Emo Qingyun cultivated. After an unknown period of time, Emo Qingyun's aura suddenly increased and reached the second level of the true energy realm. My battlefield origin energy realm has broken through to the second level of the true energy realm. After this discovery, Emo Qingyun's face lit up with joy and he continued to cultivate to stabilize his cultivation. Boss, Brother Long asked me to look for you. He said that he has something to discuss with you. After Emo Qingyun cultivated for a while, Ling Luo's voice came from outside the house. Okay. Hearing Ling Luo's words, Emo Qingyun stopped cultivating and walked out of the house. After a while, Emo Qingyun came to Lu Fengliang and the others and found a place to sit down. Seeing that Emo Qingyun had arrived, Lu Fengliang began to explain. After listening to Lu Fengliang's explanation, Emo Qingyun finally understood why Long Yutian had sought them out. It turned out that Lu Fengliang and the others had discovered a secret treasure. However, this secret treasure was a little special and required 9 people to open it. That was why Long Yutian and the others wanted to find 2 more people to make up the 9 people. After 2 hours, after discussing some things to take note of, they got up and headed for the secret treasure of the 9 temples. After Emo Qingyun and the others left, Ma Ju and Ma Hua saw that their injuries were more or less healed and also left the small courtyard to return to Jiufang City. Big brother, are we really going to let it go like this? On the way back to Jiufang City, Ma Hua asked Ma Ju with an unwilling expression. Of course we won't let it go like this. Hearing Ma Hua's words, Ma Ju's face darkened. They want to leave us 2 brothers behind? No way. I'm going to reveal the secret treasure of the 9 temples and make them suffer. But we don't know the location of the secret treasure of the 9 temples, Ma Hua said somewhat awkwardly. Besides, we took Swumu's 100,000 origin spirit stones. Isn't this a little inappropriate? So what if we don't know? Ma Ju curled his lips and said through gritted teeth, there are no walls in this world that don't have a crack. As long as we release the news, someone will definitely be able to find the location of the secret treasure of the 9 temples. At that time, under the watchful eyes of everyone, they will all die. Hearing Ma Ju's words, Ma Hua sneered and uttered words of admiration. Within Jiufang City, Lei Hong and the others were all killed? Within the Jiufang City's city lord's mansion, a youth wearing a golden crown heard the report from his subordinates. His face darkened and he gnashed his teeth. Immediately investigate. No matter who it is, I will make them pay a painful price for daring to kill my Thunder Kingdom's people. Brother Lei Hao, don't be angry. Seeing the anger on the golden-crowned youth's face, a blue-clothed youth beside him smiled faintly. In a moment, I will have my Eagle Kingdom's people help you find the culprit. However, the most important thing right now is to find the person who obtained the ancient treasure. Haha, Brother Ing Xing's words are reasonable. Hearing the blue-clothed youth's words, Lei Hao's expression turned for the better. He smiled faintly at Ing Xing. With Brother Ing Xing and the Eagle Kingdom's help, the culprit will definitely not be able to escape. City Lord, 2 people just came to report that they know the secret of a treasure and intend to present it to the City Lord. At this time, while Lei Hao and Ing Xing were talking, a guard walked up and reported to Lei Hong. Hearing the guard's words, Lei Hao's expression changed to one of pleasant surprise. He urged, hurry and bring them up. Not long after, the 2 people were brought up. If Emo Qingyun and the others were here, they would definitely recognize these 2 people. They were Ma Ju and his brother. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.